live button. So.
Okay.
Why am I on? Oh,
I'm still seeing that countdown timer thing appear on there.
We are live.
Outstanding. Ah, yes.
Okay. It's always interesting. All right, looks like we're live. So we will get this underway in just a second here. I just want to do a sanity check to make sure the audio is coming through. Steve, maybe we could test your audio and I'll just check it on the other machine over here.
Absolutely. Hello from Chicago. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't understand why we don't have a broadcast booth. Everybody, all these other guys have broadcast booth. Why don't we have a broadcast booth? I'm not kidding. We need like a.
Well, we only do this like we do this like once a year, so.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like, did you see Onyx got like this studio with TVs and microphones and
he's probably
a
doing it
control
every
room
week.
And 20 guys working in the control room. It's just me, you, and a bunch of hamsters in the background trying to make this shit work.
Well, they're definitely hamsters because they haven't got the live chat working. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, one of our hamsters just said, "Hey now, wait a minute."
Yeah, they're quite defenseless hamsters at the moment. So we are getting underway in just a second, guys. We're just setting up a few technical things here behind the scenes.
Detecting a hamster theme. You know, we looked at hamster cages as an example for advertising, and I don't know how we got on the hamster theme. It's probably better than red widgets, which is what I usually say.
That's true. That's been used and abused over the years, the old red widgets.
I know, I really got to stop that because I have this feeling like every time I say it, I feel like there's people going, like maybe young people never heard that term in business and they're going like, well, what the like, and I also cannot curse. Oh my God, I got in trouble for cursing on our
I saw that. Someone had kids, someone had some kids listening in.
I know, I got
dropped the F-bomb.
Well, no, I pulled back from that. So it wasn't my usual, sailor laced profanity, but and in my defense, there have been several studies now that have shown that people that use profanity are generally more intelligent. So just want to throw that out there.
Good stuff. Okay, well, we seem to be live and the hamsters seem to have gotten things working minus the live chat behind the scenes. So there isn't a live chat at the moment, but we are working on that and we might have one for you in a bit. I think we'll just give it another minute or two here, Steve. We've got...
Yeah. Our London hamster. Yes, I agree. We should definitely do that now. We should get hamster t-shirts now. But anyway, I was talking about the red widget thing. So, I mean, back in the day, and I don't know if people still use that, but that's just a common business term for like a generic thing. And I don't know if people still use that. Like, do the kids still say that? Probably not.
I'm pretty sure the kids don't say, check out my red widget.
So probably there's a whole bunch of people going, what is he talking about when and why do people want widgets? What the hell is a widget?
Yeah.
I
like hamster cage a bit better than widget.
All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna try to stop saying widgets, and I'm also gonna try not to curse. But that's gonna be a lot harder. That's gonna
be a challenge for you.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot harder than the widget thing.
Hope there's no children watching today.
Oh, for God's sakes! You need to grow up. That's it. What is Mark typing? Oh, okay, good.
Oh,
so that's good.
That is quite interesting.
Oh, well, never mind. And not the other. The behind the scenes. Sometimes, we'll have to release like a blooper behind the scenes reel at some point.
Yeah, I keep looking over to the left if you're wondering what I'm doing. I've got another monitor over here, and this is kind of like the control panel of the command center. So that's what I'm doing over this side, just as we get ready here.
See, again, I want to point out that like Anik would have 20 people in the control room, and you wouldn't have to do that because you're on camera, you know.
That's true.
It's just not how we roll, man.
That's not how we roll.
No, we're all about do it ourselves. whether
DIY.
Whether it works or not.
Command center.
Oh, oh, there you go. That's the delay.
As we that wasn't meant to happen. Anyway.
I recommend that everybody who's on just stay for the whole thing, because the entertainment value may be incredibly high as we try to navigate the incredibly complex tech of doing some sort of like live streaming, which is, you know, clearly beyond the capabilities of us.
All right. Well, I'm seeing 4 minutes past the hour. We'll give another minute here just to see if we can smooth out a few things behind the scenes. We do have a pretty packed schedule, and we're going to see how long it takes us to get through all of this stuff. But my guess is that our estimates are going to be wildly off, and anything could happen here. So
they always are.
We do have some cash to give away, though. That's going to be fun, at least. $1,500.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yep.
I got to turn my phone off. Although I have a feeling I know who that text is from.
Hey, that wasn't me texting you, was it?
Yeah.
No, it was?
Well, sort of.
It worked.
Yeah. Indeed, it was. All right. Which answers
stand by, guys.
Which answers my other question, by the way. So that's good.
We are, yeah. We are getting close now, guys. Okay. Well, I think maybe we just start diving into the content here, Steve. We've got quite a bit to cover.
Indeed.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So we finished talking about all the hamsters. So I think it's time to do an official welcome. So let me pause for a minute here and gather my thoughts, and we will dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Super Sunday broadcast. This is pretty exciting. We're in to deliver a lot of content here for you today. Thanks for beaming in from wherever you are. And we are going to cover an enormous amount of content. We're probably going to be here for 3 hours. I'm sure we're going to have a few technical issues along the way. We've already had some, and we've just been praising our hamsters that are working for us behind the scenes here, trying to make this smooth sailing, but clearly it's not going to be all smooth sailing. But we are going to provide you probably with some good entertainment value as we stumble our way through this, but we do have some good content. And we will be talking about things that we actually do know about as well. So you've got that to look forward to. You can see on my screen here the rough schedule, and we've got a lot to cover, as you can see. I wouldn't pay too close attention to when each part of this is going to come out here, because you know, we're probably going to be way off on all of these estimates. But look, we are going to give you an inside look at the Kibo code. We're going to share some mission critical success rates, some personal stories. We're going to do live software demos. We're going to have in-depth ask us anything questions, and that'll be interesting because our live chat isn't working. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But we do have some of the most popular questions, the most common questions that we've got, which we'll definitely be able to go through. Thousands in cash. We are going to interview an early adopter of the Kibo code who does over $50,000 a month. A little bit later on, we've got a big announcement to come as well. Steve's going to get into his soccer strategy, and you're going to see why He's probably not cut out to be a soccer manager, but it works for business. We'll get into the business grid and so much more. So I hope you are pumped up to be here. I can't actually see if you are or not because our live chat doesn't work at the moment, but I can see what some of you are putting in over there on YouTube. So look, we thought we'd kick this off just by giving you a chance to get to know us. And if you've been on a workshop with us before, you've probably heard us giving, the stock standard introduction, but we've got a little bit more than that for you here today. We're going to share a few things that you might not know about us. But before we get to that, I think we should, for the people who don't know us, Steve, we should probably give the standard rundown here. So as you can see on the screen, you can see a couple of pictures of us with our families. And I'm from New Zealand. For those of you that don't know me, I live in Buenos Aires right now. And I don't know if you can see over my shoulder here, but it's a glorious summer day. It's very hot outside at the moment. And I love living in Argentina, and I'm able to do it because of the geographic freedom that my business gives me. And it's something that started out as a dream. I met my wife in Lake Tahoe, Squaw Valley to be precise, doing a ski season back in 2003. And after that, I went back to New Zealand. I had to finish my studies, but I wanted to travel. I wanted to be able to make money on the go from my laptop and really have this laptop lifestyle that that you hear about. And I didn't know if I'd be able to do it. I didn't know what even existed out there. Some of the first things I tried were epic failures. One of the first websites I set up was I tried to sell flowers all over the globe as an affiliate, and that didn't end up too well. I didn't make any money off that, and I don't think I really got any visitors coming to that site either. But I did learn along the way, and within a couple of years of starting my online business, I got to the point where I actually could do it full time. And since then, it's just been an amazing roller coaster. Lots of ups and downs, mainly ups, and we've learned a lot along the way. So here I am today, 15 years after I started, living in Buenos Aires, but traveling as much as we want to. When I wake up in the morning, sometimes I go straight to the office. Sometimes I hang out with my kids for a while. Sometimes I don't work. It just depends on how I feel on that day, and that's really the freedom that I've come to enjoy. Now, Steve, I know you've got some of those same freedoms, but obviously completely different background.
Yeah, definitely very different. I was in corporate for quite some time, about 17 years or so, and it was really tough. I mean, it was great that I got I was paid well, so that's nice, but I was just not very happy. I was a chief information officer for a public company and a VP of a Fortune 500 company. And, those, like I said, those jobs they pay well, but I really didn't have any geographic freedom or time freedom. And what was crummy is that I actually ended up living in a place that I, not only myself, my family hated for 9 years. And I don't usually talk about this. I won't say where it was because I don't want to insult anybody, but we just absolutely the job was good, but the family and the home life was pretty miserable for 9 years. And it's interesting. My brother is faced with that decision right now. He's a corporate attorney and he's looking at his dream job, and he's in a spot right now where he loves he and his whole family, and he's got young kids as opposed to my kids here. And he's going to probably make the same decision that we made, which was to move for the job. But I'm trying to convince him not to be honest with you, because I just think it's too much to give up, And so a long way of saying that now we live in Chicago, and, we spent a couple of years along the way living in Key West and, doing a few other things. And that's the kind of lifestyle you could just decide, where to live. And it actually became a little overwhelming. We're like, well, where are we going to live? And it doesn't really matter because you can always move. But Chicago always felt like home to us. We had lived here about 25 years ago. When the kids were very young. And this was the place that the good job took us away from. And we always said, we're going to come back. And, I just didn't have that freedom when I worked in corporate. So thankfully, after I went out on my own, became a serial online entrepreneur, I was obviously able to live anywhere that I like. So that was a big deal for me. And, for me, it was all about, as Aiden was talking about, I had the financial freedom. I did have that, but I had no time freedom and I had no geographic freedom. And the other thing for me was that I was really a frustrated entrepreneur. So, we always make crappy employees. We're always looking to do our own thing and, that sort of thing. So I just, about 15 years ago, decided I'd had enough and I wanted to take the risk to make kind of my dreams come true and to enable those freedoms. So I would never have to spend 9 years in a place that I hated. And I haven't had a real job since. And it's been a blessing. And I hope that I can help some of you do that as well. And my wife is still with me, even though she's not in the picture. So, 31 years I've been married. So, for whatever that's worth.
We wanted to share some more things, about ourselves today, just so you get to know us a little bit more. So I'll start here, and believe me, Steve's got far more interesting things than I do, but I have got some things which you might find a little bit interesting, perhaps you didn't know about. The first one I'll share with you is that I am now officially Italian. So I know I don't look Italian, I don't sound Italian, but I am officially Italian. You can see a picture of me getting sworn in as an Italian. I'm also officially Argentine. I'm a permanent resident of Argentina. To give you some context of the Italian story, my wife, her grandmother shifted to Argentina from Italy. So my wife ended up getting Italian citizenship, Italian passport, all that good stuff. And then having been married and done a very long 6 or 7 year paperwork, they finally gave me my Italian citizenship. So I am Italian. I'm Argentine. In my spare time, I like to do a lot of swimming. You can see from one of my races there, and a lot of travel. You can see us there huddled in on our recent trip out to New Zealand with the 2 young ones on the plane, and that's never a dull moment. And thankfully they didn't cry. I wasn't that guy with the loud kids on the plane, thankfully. The other thing I like to do in my spare time is property investment. I'll talk more about this later. We've got quite a few properties around the world, including a handful of different upper market, upscale condos in New York, which is pretty exciting, right around different areas, Tribeca, up around near Central Park as well. And that's something that we enjoy doing. But Steve, now you'll see Steve's got really fun things. Mine are just boring compared to Steve. But why don't you tell them about all your different things, Steve?
Well, in your defense, I've been on the planet significantly longer than you, unfortunately.
That's a good point, actually. So I've still got some time on my side.
It's a very valid point. When you have those young kids, they tend to tie you down a little bit. I didn't become a pilot until the kids were adults, for the most part. So a couple things. First of all, this marks a huge milestone. This is the first time I have gone topless on the internet. I was unaware that this picture was there. I just noticed that. So thanks so much for that, Aiden, because I can guarantee you that there will be lots of people that will be, zooming in on that and doing some interesting Photoshops. So that's great. I got that.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, look, I'm 50 something years old. I'll take it.
You're doing pretty well.
I'm not doing too bad. So a few things. I think about me, one of the things that, and I don't know if I learned this from being an entrepreneur or if I knew this beforehand, but I think it's a little bit of both. And that is that I don't ever think that something's impossible. And this it used to drive my father insane. He used to think I was crazy. And my dad's very conservative. He's a mechanical engineer, very smart, very analytical, but not a risk taker. Not a guy who and is in his age group. He's at this point he's 76 years old, and so he's of that generation. Where he was on a particular path, college, career, stay with one company for 35 years, retire at 55. That sort of thing. So not a lot of risk, not a lot of deviating from the path that's set out in front of him. This is not a criticism, by the way. It's just, kind of the way it is. So I would drive him insane because I thought I could do absolutely anything I ever wanted to do. And I never met a thing that I sort of wanted to do that I didn't ultimately just figure out a way to do. And you know, again, I think that helped my entrepreneurial career, but it's also been reinforced by that career. And you can see a couple of these things here. I had always wanted to fly, and so I don't know exactly when I got my pilot's license. I guess it must be about 12 years ago or something like that. I got my pilot's license, and I did a lot of flying for a number of years. I owned a couple different airplanes, and that was incredibly exciting. I ended up giving it up. You know, I still have my license. You always have.
Can I just tell one story about the first time I went up with you, Steve? People might get a kick out of this. So Steve's plane was so cool that it had a parachute built into it. And I'm not joking. There was a special lever that you could pull, and it would make a parachute come out if it was ever needed. So before we take off, Steve says, look, you know, if anything happens to me, throttle down and pull this red lever. And this was my first time going up in the plane with Steve, and I was just like, holy crap.
That's
didn't do a lot for my confidence, but to be fair, we flew through some pretty I don't know if it was in that flight, but we've been through some pretty interesting conditions, and always got out of it unscathed.
We have been through, not the least of which was when we were flying to the Bahamas, and we had a visitor in the seat up front who pushed some pedals he wasn't supposed to, and all of a sudden we just went. It was pretty interesting. Anyway, so flying is a big deal. It's a big investment. It's a big time thing, and you really need to have a lot of flexibility to do it. And so having the freedom, you know, of the kinds of business that we have allowed me to do that. And then the other thing I've always wanted to be involved in is the movie business. Not, you know, just the creative part of it, you know, being a screenwriter. I guess I'm probably have been in my past a frustrated actor, not so much anymore. But so I love movies. I mean, it's a huge thing for me, and so I always wanted to know more about them. So through a process of meeting someone actually from our mastermind group, who is a talented movie director, I ended up working with him and co-writing a movie. And so I actually now have an IMDb credit. I'm so excited. The movie's not out yet. It's all been shot, and it's being edited and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's a movie writing credit in IMDb from me, and got involved with a lot of different things. And that's a scene from the movie down there. You can see there. And the last thing I'll share is this whole yacht business. You know, I've been a boater for forever. I mean, my dad was a boater, so we've had boats for, I mean, I guess, you know, maybe 40 years of boating experience, right? And I had, and at one point I had a very nice boat. It was like a 50-foot boat with 3 staterooms that I captained myself. I had that for 10 years and took the family all through the Bahamas, and, you know, on like, you know, month-long trips and stuff. I mean, quite a lot of adventures. But I always wanted to sort of take it to the next level and own a yacht that I would have a charter business and a full-time crew. And so actually Aiden and I were in Key West on my old boat, you know, the one I had for 10 years. And this big yacht pulled in with the crew. So I ended up talking with them for quite some time. And by the time, and Aiden laughs at this, by the time like the weekend was over, I had a whole spreadsheet that had outlined like the whole business plan for owning a yacht and having a charter business and having the crew. And then probably fast forward like 2 years later, I made it happen. So if you're ever interested, you can go to Impulse Yacht Charter, check that out. And but that's her, Impulse, and I've had her for 3 years now, and it's been quite an adventure. So
and I tell you what, that photo, it's obviously quite small on the screen there, but it doesn't do it justice. When you see, if we'd had one from a different angle, you would see a person standing on there, and they would just look like teeny tiny. So she's a decent size.
Yeah, she's a great machine. She's really, really exciting. So have a lot of fun with it. She's got a full-time crew of 4, and cruises Florida, the Bahamas, and the Virgin Islands. So
yeah. So for those of you that have just joined us, welcome to this live stream. We've got a lot that we're going to cover. We've just been covering a little bit about our background. We are going to give some cash away in just a second here, and we're going to get into all the real meat of this live stream in just a few moments here. We've got lots and lots to cover, and I think we've got some things that are going to be really, really interesting for you. Others may be less interesting, but we're going to touch on lots of things. So stick around. We're probably going to, stumble our way through this. We've already had a few technical glitches in the background, which we're sorting out by the way. And the next thing I thought we could do, Stephen, we could just keep it on my slides for this one here on my screen, is just share a little bit about our e-commerce story. And you're better at telling the story. I kind of, in fact, my e-commerce story started going through one of Steve's early programs, drop shipping. That was in, well, you got started, I think, even before 2007. But
right.
Why don't you just give people the run through of how this has sort of evolved over the years?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been quite a journey, and it has been, I mean, it's damn near 20 years because it started at 2003, and what are we in 20? So, okay, so let's call it 17. You know, this will be our 17th year of doing e-commerce, which is pretty amazing as I sit here and think about it. And when we originally started, and in fact, I think that image from 2007 is one of the first stores we ever did, which was selling train horns. These incredibly obnoxious things that people would put on boats and trucks and cars that would essentially make their horn turn into this giant air horn that would, you know, disrupt everyone's sanity around them. But anyway, but people loved them, and they sold really well. And so we operated a drop shipping model back then. And we had that, and we had a few other stores that would sell different things, and they were all specialized. You know, they were all around, not even just a niche, but really product specialized. Like the only thing that the train horn store sold was train horns. So the idea was, you know, just to be super, super niche-y. And we did SEO and AdWords, and back then, you know, that was a really great strategy. We did that for many years, and we did really, really well with it. And then, you know, the traffic started to become more complex. Certainly, you know, AdWords became a lot more complex and problematic and troublesome with Google. SEO has continued on its journey of being just, you know, very difficult to keep up with, frankly, and sometimes feel like you're kind of fighting on a losing battle with it. I find, you know, just to digress for a second, I find SEO to be something that I'm most comfortable with when it's a complementary traffic strategy, when I don't have to count on it to be the core traffic strategy for a business, and it's just kind of gravy. That's when I feel, at this point anyway, that I'm the most comfortable with SEO, but just as an aside. So then we got very heavily, probably a couple of years before 2013 to get everything prepped. We got super, super heavily into the Amazon private label model, along with, you know, everyone else on the planet, you know, or all the other internet entrepreneurs anyway. And which is good. There was plenty of room. There's still room, you know. And that was great, you know, because we sort of got rid of the traffic problem completely, because Amazon ecosystem has, you know, so much traffic. And back then, you know, it was 10 years ago or so, or whatever, it was a lot easier to get that traffic within the ecosystem. You kind of just had to show up. And it introduced us to a lot of things that we learned. I mean, we ended up opening a China office, which was, and continues to be, you know, something interesting unto itself. But it allowed us to really tap into the Asian manufacturing markets, and, you know, I mean, just do things like what Apple does. I mean, Apple doesn't manufacture their stuff here, and they design it and they specify it, and then they outsource the manufacturing to Foxconn or whatever in China. So do kind of the same thing, a little bit less scale, and we use our China office for quality assurance and communication with the suppliers in their native language and time zones, and, you know, working on the logistics part of the supply chain, which is, you know, incredibly complex and has only grown even more complex to get goods delivered in a cheap and fast manner by sea. So then we pivoted from there. But when I say pivot, I don't mean that we gave up. We don't do the dedicated niche stores anymore like we did for train horns. That we don't sell them anymore. We don't do that model anymore. But we certainly do Amazon private label, and there's no end to that in sight. We're now expanding into brick and mortar stores. We've got orders from CVS, Walgreens, TJ Maxx, Wegmans, 20 different people now. And anyway, so we transitioned a little bit over to different traffic sources and a little bit more control because Amazon, and this was just to basically diversify and protect ourselves because Amazon has become, you know, a little bit greedy in our opinion. They own everything. They own all the customer information, all the data, and the fees are going through the roof. So transition over to getting Facebook traffic because Facebook has been an amazing source of traffic. It still is, although it's harder and harder to get it, but it still is an amazing source of traffic. Incredible, really. And so we wanted to tap into that, and we tested and figured that the best way to do that was to go back to our own stores and that we could control, go back to a drop shipping model. But this time we'll use Chinese drop shippers through like AliExpress and things like that. So that worked and continues to work. In fact, we have lots of people who still have these kinds of stores in operation. And they really learned the Facebook traffic game all along the way, from when it was really easy to now when it's, you know, incredibly complex. So that's kind of the best way. And then we made a little bit of a transition back to the Amazon ecosystem to engage in that traffic in a bit of a different way by selling other people's products. And so the Amazon wholesale model. So we've been on quite a journey, I think. And along the way, you know, we've learned tons. It's pretty unavoidable. And along the way, we've also taught all of this, you know. Our business model, as I've always said, is whatever works for us, we teach. And that's a great business model, as long as it works. You know, I mean, you know, we do plenty of stuff that doesn't work. We don't end up teaching that because there wouldn't be much value in that. But so not only have we learned ourselves what works and what doesn't, we also learned over a decade and tens of thousands of students, we also kind of learn what works for you guys and what translates well and where people have problems and so on. And each time we kind of pivot and make some changes, we feel like we're making things better and better overall. And I think where we're at right now with the Kibo code in 2020, I really do believe we've reached the absolute pinnacle of how we can do e-commerce. I believe that we've gotten rid of like all of the bad, you know, all of the obstacles, and kept all of the good, and also arranged it in such a way with resources and the training and stuff that we can teach it very, very effectively. And the other thing, and I think we're going to get into this when I'm going to interview someone who's been doing this model for a while. I think longevity of the model is something that's important to talk about. And I've got some thoughts on that we'll talk about during that interview. But this model is for the long term. And I have a lot of reasons and evidence to support that I'll share with you guys. So I think, in summary, I think that this journey, this 17-year journey, has brought us to the point where we're at the absolute pinnacle of e-commerce models. And we've gotten rid of all the obstacles, all the bad, and kept all of the good, and increased that. And then double down on our ability to teach it. And that's, I think, why Aiden and I are just so ridiculously excited this year.
Yeah. And look, guys, we have figured out a workaround for all of you that wanted to chat with us. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but if you can go to thekibocode.com/chat in a new window, in a new browser, then you'll be able to chat with us. The other thing that you can do is you can refresh the page that you are on. And when you do that, you might have to press the play on the live stream again, but it'll still be live. And when you do that, you'll find a link to where you can chat with us. So it's thekibocode.com/chat. That's /CHAT. And you'll see a chat stream there. So if you go ahead and do that and let me know, just actually go ahead and do that right now if you want to do it. And you can let me know once you're in that chat stream. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away $500 cash in just a moment. So I can see people typing in test. I can see, okay, cool. And we do have a bit of a lag between when I speak and when you guys hear it. So that also makes things a little bit interesting here. But what we are going to do in just a moment is give away $500 cash. Now, I want to ask you guys, though, should we give away $500 cash, or should we give away two sets of $250? So should we give away $250 twice or $500 once? Type 500 if you want us to give away $500 one time. Type 250 if you want to give us to give 2 prizes of 250. And I can see the chat is finally catching up for everyone that's gone ahead and got into that. If you haven't found out how to get to the chat, what you can do is refresh the page where you are streaming this video, if you're streaming this on the live stream page, and then you'll find a link that will open a new window, and you can use that to run. You can use that to ask us questions. Well, not really ask questions. It's going to be pretty challenging for us to answer questions, but definitely give us feedback. Now, Steve, I assume that you can see that that live chat window there.
Actually, I can't right now.
Are you able to open it up in a new browser?
Let me. I can't right this second. No.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I was going to ask you for some help there, but it looks like it's a pretty much 50-50 split. People are saying they want, half of them are saying they want $500 cash, half are saying they want the $250 cash. We're going to go with, on this first one, we'll go with one winner of 500. So what I'm going to do is I've got someone working here behind the scenes who is just going to pull out a random person here who has been commenting, and I'll let you know who that is. And it's just, this is just randomly going to pull someone from our, from the commenters here. And the winner is Daniel Jimenez. Daniel Jimenez, you have won. So Daniel was actually one of the people that put 250 and you've actually won $500, Daniel. So that's a good news for you, Daniel Jimenez. Congratulations. You can reach out to us at support@thekibocode.com. We will verify your email address and all that good stuff, and you'll take home $500 cash. So that was a bit of good fun there for you. Steve, how are you seeing everything on your end? Are we
I got it now. It was an operator error. I was having a problem with mine. It didn't have anything to do with
it's not the first time Steve's had operator error. But,
we
get used to living with Steve. Steve and technology. Actually, you're pretty good. You're pretty good with technology. You're good with audio. You're good with video. You're good with like camera stuff.
I am. I used to be. I used to be a computer programmer, but
That's true.
that was back when we were doing COBOL and punch cards. So
Steve's even learning how to use emojis, and from time to time he'll do one of these little like dancing emojis. I think he did one just the other day, and I thought
all the kids are using this.
I was quite impressed by that actually. So there you go. So I think it was Daniel Jimenez. If someone can on the back end here can just write that down. If you could write that name down, Steve, just so we get that, and we'll get you $500, Daniel. Remember, you can contact our support team at support@thekibocode.com. We'll verify all that, and we'll get you $500 cash. Okay. So what we want to talk about now is what I call the universal recipe for riches, and it's not a blueprint or a system. It's 100% mindset. And you might be wondering, why are we talking about this today? And this is our Super Sunday live stream. We've got more time, so we can share more things with you. And if you've just joined us, let me just back up a little bit here and show you the rough schedule for today. So we're at that. In fact, we're almost right on schedule, which is quite remarkable. 12:30 p.m. Eastern, we had the Universal Recipe for Riches. It's 12:35 p.m. Eastern, so that's pretty darn good. We're going to go through that right now, and once we've been through that, we will get on to talking about specifics of Kibo Code. We'll talk about the monetization, how we make money using that system. We'll give you a live demo of Profit Vault and a full recap of the system, and then we'll get into another cash giveaway, and we'll give you another chance to win. The way that you can help us is give us feedback in that little chat box that we've set up there. If you missed it, I don't know if you can see that very well, but that is the URL that you can go to, thekibocode.com/chat, thekibocode.com/chat. That's what you can do. Now, you'll need to open it in a new browser, because obviously if you open it in the same browser, then you're going to lose the video here, okay? So we will get to more cash being given away. We will have a section when you can ask us anything, and we hope that we can answer a few of the questions you've got about the Kibo Code. In about half an hour's time or something, we will have links coming up here on the screen showing you how you can sign up if you want to do that. And if you're watching the live stream that's embedded on our webpage, then there is a button there that you can use to jump in as well. So we'll get all of that. We're going to do an interview with one of our early adopters of the Kibo code. This is someone who's doing over $50,000 a month. So I think you'll find his story interesting. And then we've got lots more. We'll have a big announcement a little bit later on as well. Okay, so again, thanks for everyone who is participating in the comments. You guys rock. Now, the universal recipe for riches, as I mentioned, it's all about mindset, and it's mission critical really for your business. So I want to share some of my thoughts about this. Now, just to give you some credentials here, I'm definitely not a self-help guru. I'm not a best-selling author, but I am friends nowadays with at least 50 self-made millionaires, and I've hung out with these people a lot. And I, along with Steve, we've personally built 6 different multi-million-dollar businesses. These are businesses that make us multi-million dollars every single year. So, you know, we've learned a lot from personal experience, and we've observed quite a bit as well. So what I've tried to do here is break these traits down to what, and this is just my opinion. You might agree with some of the things I'm saying, you might disagree with them, and that's fine. But I've tried to break down the 13 different traits into different areas, and I'll share some of my experiences there. So the first one is that anyone can become a millionaire. It doesn't matter. And by the way, just to clarify, when I say millionaire, it doesn't even necessarily, these traits don't even have to do with money. I mean, they could just be interchangeable for success. So anyone can have huge business success. That's basically what we're saying here. And when you have huge business success, the financial part will come along with it. So that's what we're talking about. These are the traits. And the first one is that your background doesn't matter. Becoming a millionaire, it's not some, you know, dark art. It's not some cryptic code. It really is a set of ingredients and a way of thinking that when you stack these things on top of one another, you can stack the deck in your favor. And I come from a very middle-class background. My mum is a primary school teacher in New Zealand. She teaches 5-year-olds. My dad has been a farmer his whole life. He's just retired. So I come from a very middle-class background, but I was still able to build multi-million-dollar businesses because, and this is the main reason, is because I've worked on the way that I think about doing things. And I believe that success leaves clues, absolutely. Most self-made millionaires, they have the same set of attributes, and they're clues to mega success. They are essentially a recipe for your mind. And there are dozens of common characteristics that come up over and over again. And these are what we refer to as the ingredients for success. So as we work through here, one thing that you can do is try to think about where are you weak at the moment. Consciously think about it, maybe even take down notes if you want to, and then you can work on your weaknesses. And how many of these millionaire ingredients do you currently have? Try to take an objective look at this. And again, I welcome your feedback in the question box in the live stream chat box as we go here. And okay, so let's dive in. The first is understanding the math of money. You may have heard us talking about this in the past. Basically, it's a multiplication of the things that are going to make you going to put money in your pocket. So the first is leads. These are essentially visitors. And by the way, this math of money, it's true with an offline business, online business, any kind of a business. So the first one there is leads. This is the number of visitors that you're getting. The second is the conversion rate. How many of those visitors are going to actually buy something? The third one is the dollars per customer. How much money are people spending? And to make this nice and simple, instead of using dollars per customer, we'll use profit per customer, because that way we come up with a real profit number here. And then the average number of transactions per visitor. And when you multiply those things out, you get your income. So if you spoke about how many visitors you're getting on a daily basis, then multiply these things together and you'll get your daily income. If you spoke about how many visitors you're getting on a monthly basis, then add that in there, multiply them together, and you'll get your number. So let's use a simple lemonade stand as an example here. Your income is the number of visitors. Let's say you've got a lemonade stand set up on the street, and you get 1,000 people walking past each day. Let's say that 5% of the people that come past, they buy one of your lemonades, and each one is $1. And the average number of transactions per person that buys is 1, because each person is only going to buy one glass of lemonade. So that would mean that your daily income is $50. Okay, so you've multiplied the visitors by the conversion rate, by the dollars per sale, by the, and we'll just call it the profit per customer, by the number of transactions a customer makes. Are you following me so far? Give me a yes in the chat box if you're following me. And we do have about a 20-second lag here. So I'm going to assume that you are, and I'll check back in just a second once that catches up. So the key about this equation is that if you double two of the factors in there, it quadruples the amount of money that you make. So if you were able to get a 10% conversion rate, and you were able to up it to $2 per sale, or $2 profit per sale, then instead of making $50, you make $200. If you were able to double all four of the factors, then the original $50 that you make, that gets multiplied 16 times. So it's amazing. And one thing that we've been quite good at, I think, over the years is optimizing each part of this equation. And we do it on our websites. And I'll give you an example of one of this. So this here is applied to the Kibo code right here. Your leads, let's say you get 200 visitors coming to your website per day. Let's say the conversion rate is 2%. We typically aim for 3%, but conservatively speaking, let's say it was 2%. Let's say you're making $40 profit per customer, then, and you're getting 1.4 transactions per customer, because maybe each customer adds more than one product to the cart, or maybe they come back again. That puts you at $224 per day. Now, if we were able to tweak a few things and get that conversion rate from 2% up to 4%, then the profit we're getting per day will double. It'll go to $448 per day. So this is a really important equation that you need to understand when you're starting any business. And if your business isn't working, you can usually figure out why it's not working by diving down and sort of reverse engineering the different components and see where you're falling down. And one of the things that we love about the Kibo code is it's very black and white. There's not much art to it. It's all basically science. I mean, you get visitors, you know what your conversion rate is, you know what your dollars per customer are, and you can drill down and fix things when they need to be fixed. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is to stretch your mind. This is the second ingredient, and stretching your mind establishes a new benchmark. So each time you do something which is better than what you've done in the past, then you will start to assume and expect that of yourself. And it's the same with fitness, running, many things in life. So if you went out and ran a mile, and one day you ran it in 6 minutes, let's say you were quite quick, then you would know in your mind that you can run a 6-minute mile, and you would kind of always expect that of yourself. That would be your new benchmark. And it's the same with business. So if you expect that your business is going to be doing $1 million a year, then one way or another, you're able to make this happen. It becomes your new comfort zone. Now, the first day that you're working on a $1 million a year run rate, so that would be $2,700 a day. The first day that you make that much profit, you're probably not going to feel comfortable doing that. That would be normal. But the more that you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get. And that's why the first $1 million for most people is the hardest. The first $1,000 from an online business is even harder, and so on and so forth. There's a book that you can see on there. This is from a New Zealand entrepreneur. He's got a chain of jewelry stores. And the book is called Think Bigger by Michael Hill. And I took some really good lessons out of this in my own life. And in 2006, I wanted to get into property. I wanted to start investing in property. I had been about 1 year into building an online business, and I'd earned enough to buy a very small property. You would probably call it a shoebox in Buenos Aires. It was about 26 square meters, I think. Someone on YouTube someone on the live chat here, do that math for me. Is that about 260 square feet, 26 square meters? It's something like that. It's small anyway. And this thing was a tip. I mean, we're talking, wasn't too pretty. In fact, my girlfriend almost cried. It's my wife now, but at the time she almost cried when she saw it for the first time. She was like, "Are you kidding me? Are we going to live here?" It was pretty bad. It was pretty dungy, but I knew that I could turn it into something nice. We ripped it back. You can see me just probably in that picture there, standing on a pile of rubble. That's actually inside where the kitchen ended up going. We stripped it back to the bricks, spent another few $1,000s on it, and rebuilt it. And that was my first property. And way back then, I'd read through a lot of books about property. I mean, I'd read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series of books and lots of other books about property investment. And I was driven by this passive income. So the first money that I started making online, I put it into buying that property. Now, to put this in perspective, that property there, I think thinking back, it cost me about $35,000. So it was very, very cheap in the scheme of things for most people. But it was what I could get in Buenos Aires. It was kind of the bottom of the ladder for sure. I renovated it. I kept it for about 10 years and I sold it a few years ago. But the point of the story is back then I had student debt. I was just getting started. I was probably earning $20,000 a year or something in my own business, struggling to make money. But I put down on paper that by the year 2020, I would want to have 20 properties outright that would give me at least $20,000 per month in rental income. Back then, that was huge. I mean, 20 properties. How the hell am I going to own 20 properties? How am I going to do it outright? I have to earn a lot of money to be doing that, right? But little by little, over time, I started accumulating properties. And now in 2020, I actually have more than 20 properties. I've got 4 luxury properties in Manhattan. They didn't cost $30,000. They cost, like 1.5 million each kind of thing. I've got a lot of property in New Zealand. I've got property in Argentina. And this all started with my mind, with having that ability to think about that. Now, if back then my desire had been to own 1 property or 2 properties, do you think I would have far more than 20 properties, investment properties now? I probably wouldn't, because first you have to be able to imagine it. And it's the same with an online business. You first have to be able to imagine that you can do this. And maybe you've succeeded with online business in the past. Maybe you haven't, but it doesn't matter, because you absolutely can, and you have to imagine yourself doing that. Now, that was my stretch goal. I've now got much bigger stretch goals than that, but that was a good one for me to get started, and it was something that I could keep thinking about and working towards. Now, what we're doing with the Kibo code, you can actually get running and start making money within a matter of weeks. So I think that allows you to set some pretty lofty goals for yourself, and I hope that little story shows you how you can make these things happen when you set your mind to achieving something. I think it's also, and this is something I go back to all the time because I just think it's so important, is going outside your comfort zone. If you want something in life that you've never had, then you're going to have to do something that you've never done. And that might mean, if you want to get fitter than you've ever been, then maybe that means you have to join CrossFit or something, or do some insane, get a personal trainer or something, but do something different, right? And it's the same with online business. If you've tried in the past and haven't got the results that you're after, then is there something new that you can try? And we certainly think that the Kibo code is something that you can try there. That is outside the comfort zone, and be growth orientated. And this is all about going outside your comfort zone, getting uncomfortable, constantly learning. I congratulate everyone for being here right now. Because you're taking time out of your Sunday to come and tune into this, and have confidence and optimism. I think you need to see the glass as half full. There are people there that will constantly put up barriers, and they are the people that never really get ahead. But if you're confident that you can do it, and I'm telling you that you can do it, then you'll be setting yourself up to succeed. The next one, ingredient number 4, is to get help. Everyone who I've seen, all the millionaires that I know, self-made millionaires, they get help. They don't try to do everything. You can't be an expert at everything. And it's not always the best thing to try to be a jack of all trades. So, and Steve would share this with you, but he's not the guy for graphic design. Steve's a really innovative thinker. He's good at big ideas. He's good at putting a business plan together, but don't ask him to go and create a fancy Facebook ad or something. And we've all got things like that, but we need to understand, we'll talk about this later, what our strengths and weaknesses are, and get help where you need help. So the Kibo code is something that can give you a proven business plan that you don't have to come up with yourself. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's literally, it's like baking a cake, and we're giving you the recipe that'll make the perfect cake, and the ingredients. Also, everyone needs help with time. So we've got over 60 people working for us at the moment. And I think I'll get to that in a second. But 60 people in our business, in our companies that work for us. And that gives us 480 hours of work done in a single day, which that's like, what is that? That's like 12 weeks for someone working on their own. And you don't get to this overnight, but when you can start outsourcing or handing off strategic parts of your business, you can grow to this. And if you do it in the right way, then it's not something that's going to have to suck money out of you, because you're only going to be hiring people to help you if it is directly, helping your bottom line. That's how we've done it, and that's how we've grown in a sort of a systematic way over the years. It's also not a coincidence that many millionaires have business partners. I come back to this all the time. There are so many advantages to having business partners, and we've got different people that are different partners with us in our business. And when you find a good partner, it's just invaluable. So that's something to think on. Ingredient number 5 is a success circle. So you become the 5 people that you spend most time with. Positivity breeds positivity. So you want to surround yourself with people that are going to believe in you, and choose who you hang out with carefully. Think about joining a mastermind, an online program. We've got a community, or we're going to develop a community with the Kibo code. So if you are in that, I know that some of our Kibo members are here watching this right now, then you're going to be able to participate in that. In fact, if you are already a member of the Kibo code, I would love for you just to let us know in that live feed. Just type, I'm a member, and comment on what was it for you that helped you decide to take the leap of faith and be with us. Maybe you've been in a past program with us. Maybe you can see what we're doing with the business model here, but I'd love to just see those as we are, as we're presenting here. So anyway, that's ingredient number 5. Number 6 is be the millionaire. When you begin to think like a millionaire, then you'll start to behave like a millionaire, and you'll do the things that it takes to become a millionaire. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And again, millionaire is interchangeable with super successful business person. Dress for the job you want, not the one you have. And if you're not sure about an approach in a certain situation, think about someone who you look up to, or someone who you aspire to become more like, and say, what would that person do? It might be, what would Steve do in that situation, to give you an example. And that's a really good way of, you might not know what they'll do every single time, but it's a great way of putting yourself in a position where at least you're attempting to think like the person that you want to become. Be solution orientated. Millionaires know that solutions are valuable, and selling a solution is how you make money. So what we're doing with our e-commerce stores, our Kibo stores, is we are serving up solutions to people that are looking for things. So if someone is looking to buy a drone and we sell drones, then we serve them up a solution, hopefully for something that they are looking for, okay? Protect your time. By the way, thank you so much for everyone that is just going ahead and commenting in the chat box there. I can see lots of our people are here with us who have jumped in, and thank you for that. Okay, so the next thing is to protect your time. Time is the most valuable, non-valuable asset that you've got. It's a non-renewable asset. It's something that is only ever ticking away. So you need to protect it and do the things that you want to be focused on. Be action orientated. The most successful people I know focus on action, not procrastination. Avoid the when-then trap. So when I'm in a better financial situation, then I will start investing. And avoid that. Lack of action stifles results. Over-planning stifles results. Millionaires don't overplan. Super successful business owners don't overplan. They spend far more time doing and far less time protecting. Think in terms of abundance. This is a big one. The way that you get ahead in life is not really through frugal thinking. You can't become a millionaire by squirreling away every last penny. It's just not scalable. You become very wealthy by making a lot of money. So you have to do things that are going to make you a lot of money if that's what you want to have. Saving is not really scalable, although I understand that it's sometimes sensible, it's not always scalable. And then vision. Having vision is about knowing what you want, being able to imagine it, to think about it consciously and subconsciously on an ongoing basis. Send off good vibes. I know this one might sound a little bit roo-roo there, but it's common sense. When you have a positive mindset and think about what you want, then you're going to start seeing more opportunities presenting themselves in front of you. Like if you were seeking out to build an online business, then there's far more chance that you would have come across the Kibo code than if you had never even thought about building an online business, right? It just makes common sense. And then enjoy the journey. So grinding away day after day, it's not sustainable. Find something that you can enjoy and do that. And I'll tell you what, when you start making money from an online business, it starts to become a lot more enjoyable, okay? The last one is gifted lunacy, and I don't know why I've got number 12 there, but gifted lunacy is just that some millionaires are just, or super successful business owners, they're just kind of like genius lunatics. They break all the rules, they prosper anyway. This is the Elon Musks of the world. They're just wired differently, and we can't aspire to be like them. They don't have a recipe. So I don't even think it makes sense to try to be them, okay? So, but all the other ingredients are things that you can replicate. Now, we will have a download of these Recipe for Riches towards the end of the call here. So stick around and we'll get that for you later. So this is our rough schedule here. And I can see now that we are 15 minutes behind schedule. So I do apologize for that. Steve, maybe this would be a good time. Actually, Steve, maybe if you want to start getting your screen ready there, you could take over at this point and we'll go through the Kibo monetization. And maybe you could give me some feedback, Steve, just on how everything is going technically. It looks like
everything's
pretty
great.
smooth sailing.
Yeah, I think everything is smooth sailing. The hamsters are operating very efficiently, very impressively, I might add. So you have to stop sharing your screen, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then I can share mine. All right. And then I believe I can share mine. Let's see. All right.
Looking
Did it
good.
work? Did it work?
Yep.
Okay. Great. So let's look at a little bit of a closer look here at the Kibo code. So what makes this different? We've got really four big things. You've got the whole blueprint, the traffic, the products, and the tools. So let me dive into these. What you need in order to implement the Kibo model is really pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You need three things. You need a platform that converts. So you need, a website, a shopping platform of some kind. You need the products, obviously, that are proven to sell, and you need the reliable and targeted traffic. So for us, as far as the site goes, what we have is what we call our theme X. And I think what's important to understand with the store itself, it sounds kind of like the easy step. Like anybody could really go out and build an e-commerce site today. Get yourself set up with Shopify and, install a free theme, and you have one. Now, whether or not it's actually going to work is a whole different story, right? And the reason is because every single decision that's made in a theme, and theme is just, what does it look like? What are the colors? What are the fonts? What are the buttons? What are the calls to action? That sort of thing. Every single decision that is made by the designer of a theme and how your website's set up will impact conversions. Now, some have a bigger impact than others, but pretty much every single thing is another variable that psychologically works on people's, minds to turn them into, from visitors to your site into buyers. And this is a real science. This is things like, they've studied this in, grocery stores and malls and, retail places, and it's just the same online. There are certain things, tips and tricks that make a big difference. I will tell you that while there are things that are known because it's a science, the dirty little secret of being a marketing expert is that you can guess, like by looking at a theme or a landing page or whatever, that it's going to be good or better than a previous version. But nobody guesses that well. And the only thing that really tells you is testing. So what we have with our Theme X is benefit of years and years of this. You know, we showed you the evolution of where we got to today with e-commerce, of making these decisions about what the site looks like, what the colors are, what the calls to actions are, and essentially just encapsulating all of this stuff into one set of best practices that you can just install with the push of a button. And that's Theme X. And then products, products, it is, if you're doing it by yourself, right? The challenge is that you have to find products that have a high market demand. People are looking for them. You have to find products that you can actually buy at the right price. And you have to know what they're kind of being sold for online, so you could kind of gauge what you could possibly sell them for, so you could decide if you could make a profit. And then you have to get traffic that supports that. So there are a lot of different ways that you can find products. I'm going to show you how we do it with Kibo code shortly. And we think that it's the shortcut that kind of takes all the work out of it. But there are lots of different ways to get ideas about products, figure out what the search volume is or the market demand, figure out where you can potentially buy it so that it's going to be drop shipped reliably, and understand what it's being sold for generally to figure out what you could sell it for, and then what your profit might be. And then it's all about traffic, right? And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. But obviously we've got to accomplish three things with our traffic. We've got to get a lot of it, right? If we're going to scale and, not just make $100, but we're going to make life-changing income, we've got to get a lot of traffic. But we can't just get a lot of it. It has to be really good traffic. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it has to be traffic that the visitors have a high commercial intent. In other words, they're ready to buy. These are people that are not just like walking through a mall. These are people that have gone to a store with a very specific thing that they want to buy. They have their credit card like in their hand. They're ready to put it down. They're ready to buy and walk out of there. And so that's really important. And then the final thing about the traffic is we have to get it cheap. It's the nature of the beast with e-commerce, with any online business. 97% of the visitors to your site are not going to buy anything. Now, at least maybe not the first time. Hopefully you'll re-engage them in different ways. You'll get them, but only about 3 out of every 100 people are going to buy something. And 3 out of every 100 people is really good, for an online business. So and people might be saying, oh my God, well, that's horrible. It's really not. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. That's kind of the way it is with all e-commerce sites. And what you need to do is just simply make sure that you're paying the right amount for the traffic, which is very easy to do when you can control the price anyway. And then as long as you're doing that, then you're fine. You're going to make your return on investment. But if you're not using our shortcut with Kibo code, there are a lot of problems with traffic that we'll talk about. And then obviously from there, it's making sales and profits, optimizing the campaigns that you have for advertising, keep testing products. Some are going to make more money than others. So if your focus is, look, I want to make, pick a number, $100,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year, whatever it is. That's kind of where I want to scale to, or at least that's my first goal. Then, maybe I could do that with, 4 or 5 products that sell really, really well versus 10 products that sell okay, that kind of thing. So it's usually to your advantage to simplify your operations and just end up with the highest converting products, the products that make you the most money, and then, kind of scale from there. So go from 100 to 1,000 to 2,500. You could build more stores. There's lots of different ways to do that. And to put this in perspective, it's not, this particular model does not require a lot of products, which is really nice. If you just find one a month, you're going to be on an incredible journey. If you find one product that does well, and by well, at least on this slide, we defined it as 12 sales a day. And maybe that product sells for $70. So, your first month, you find that one product and you're bringing in $840 a day. And don't forget, that's, anywhere between 30 and 50% profit margins. That's a pretty good day, even just to start out with in the first month. And let's say you don't do anything for the next 30 days. And then the second month, you find another one of these, and now you're all of a sudden at 1680, right? And then you're, over 2000 in month 3. And that's just finding one product every month for 3 months. And as you're going to see when I talk about, products in the Kibo code, we give you 5, and we'll talk about that and show you that a little bit more. But let's talk about traffic, because it's key. And again, remember what I'm talking about here with traffic. We got to get a lot of it. It has to be really good targeted traffic. It's got to be really good traffic that converts to sales, and it's got to be cheap. It's got to be all 3 of those things, and that's a pretty tall order. Now, it's obviously the biggest thing for any business, right? I mean, if you can have the best product in the world, the best websites, the best everything, but if nobody actually ever visits to see it, you're not going to make any sales, right? And I think if you're going to build a big business and it's going to be scalable and you want it to be around for years and you want to make good money, you're going to have to go to one of the big boys. You're going to have to go to one of these sources with either Facebook or Amazon ecosystem, or, Google AdWords has been the traditional path to getting the Google traffic. We're going to talk about something else, or SEO, which also is obviously the Google traffic and other search engines. And that's fine. I mean, because, as I've said in other presentations that I've given, the good news for being a marketer is that we have never seen a time like this. We have never had the power at our fingertips that we have today. The power to get this incredible amount of targeted traffic at a good price through these platforms. Except the problem is that over the last few years, the price that we've had to pay for all of that power is incredible complexity. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but it reaches the point, in my opinion, where it's very difficult. It can be an insurmountable obstacle, reasonably so, for beginners to actually leverage these traffic sources. And you must leverage one of them, at least, if not more than one, in order to build a big business. I mean, there are other traffic sources out there that are a little bit easier to get, traffic from, get it and, get good traffic and get it cheaply, but there's not as much of it. So yes, these are, I'm not going to suggest that anything's a bad traffic source as long as it's good quality traffic at a reasonable price, but you're not going to build that big business that's sustainable for years to come unless you attack, one of the big sources of traffic. So one of the big shortcuts with Kibo code is our traffic source. And we use the Google and Bing shopping platforms. And the reason is just, as I was saying, the power that we have is great, for all these 4 traffic sources, and 2 of them are really just different ways of getting at the same traffic source, right? It's really Facebook, Amazon, and Google. Those are the gateways to the traffic sources. And the problem is that, we can get it. It's out there. We have the most power at our fingertips than we have ever had to get that traffic. But look at the price we pay. Facebook is a great example. 11 different ad types, 28 ad positions, 9 different call to action buttons, split test, pixels, lookalike audiences, duplicating ads and audiences and interests, and Facebook. I can't do it. I mean, I can't do it anymore. When we want to attack Facebook, we hire experts, and they're not cheap. And rightly so, because they have to spend years learning it and having experience with it. And then if they're not careful, in about 5 minutes, it's out of date because Facebook changes it every 2 minutes. The other part that's really changed is that even if you could master the back office stuff, right? How do I set up audiences, lookalike audiences? How do I download all the analytics and then use Excel spreadsheets with pivot tables? And you're going to pull your hair out. Even if you could manage that, right? Then you still have to create Madison Avenue quality ads. I mean, we're talking about, ridiculously professional graphic design and copywriting. I'm sure that you've seen the level of expertise and, just competence over the years in your own Facebook feed has risen and risen. The same with Google AdWords and copywriting and things like that, and strategies to leverage that. It's no longer easy, is my point. And it's just kind of the nature of the beast now. We have traded access to power for complexity, I'm not even trying to suggest that's a bad trade-off. But if you're a beginner, I can't curse. It's a crummy. God, how come we have to be PG-13? It's a crummy trade-off, quite frankly. And then think about SEO for a minute. So let's say, I want to go SEO. Maybe that's a little bit easier to get my arms around. Great, let's get a book on SEO. It's 1,000 pages, 1,000 pages for that. And one of the other big problems is the minute that book is published, never mind the minute it actually gets in your hands, the minute the book is published, it's out of date. It's completely out of date. Google changes their algorithm every single freaking day. Right? Subtle changes. And they make huge changes several times a year. Excuse me. And then, Facebook is going through a horrific time for them with, oversight, really. The European Union, other countries, even the United States, which usually doesn't do a good job of that, they're getting in their business. And Facebook is trying to proactively react by saying, oh, okay, we're going to, we might think these people are doing something wrong. We're just going to cancel all these accounts. Don't worry about, we make so much money. We don't care if that's right or wrong, if they're really doing anything. We're just going to try and fix this, and everybody's falling victim to this. Here's poor Aiden's Facebook account just last week got banned. What did he do? Nothing. What does Facebook think he does? Who knows? Facebook doesn't even know. Somebody just decided that's a problem. I give you another example of this. We have a startup that I'm actually the CEO of. It's called NetBlaze, and it's software that helps small business owners do their marketing. It has nothing to do with business opportunity necessarily or anything like this. It's a completely different thing. And we were using Facebook successfully until somebody somewhere in a manual review, likely one of the 30,000 people they have in India or something, decided that we were an MLM. An MLM? What the hell are you talking about? We're a software as a service, continuity kind of thing. There's nothing MLM about us, right? We're nothing. And yet we cannot get Facebook to change their mind because somebody at one point clicked something. That's it. It's over. So we can't really effectively advertise online or on Facebook. It's ridiculous. So the good news about the Google and Bing shopping platforms is that we get rid of all of these complexities. So we still preserve a lot of traffic, highly targeted, really good traffic, and I'll tell you how that is, and high commercial intent, really valuable traffic, and cheap. So we still get those things, but we get rid of all of the complexity. It is as easy as simply saying to Google and Bing and some other platforms, hey, I have one of these for sale. Could you just please do me a favor and show it to all the people that are going to buy it? I'm not exaggerating. That's how it works. What you end up doing is you let Google and Bing and other do what it does best. How many of us have had this option, this thing happen to us when we're about to type in a very long, complex search phrase into Google, about what we're particularly looking for, and we type 2 characters, and Google just goes, "Yeah, I know what you mean," and finishes the whole 20 words, right? And it's because they know everything about us. We don't have any privacy. Their artificial intelligence is ridiculous. We will soon all be a victim of our AI overlords. But for now, we'll just take advantage of it from a marketing perspective. And instead of us worrying about, different ad types and calls to actions and split tests and pixels and lookalike audiences and copywriting and graphic design, we get rid of every single bit of that, right? There is no copywriting. There is no graphic design. There's simply, I got a hamster cage for sale, Google. Here's where it is on my site. Google says, oh yeah, I see it. Let me just grab the picture, the description, the reviews, the price. Let me just grab all that shit for you. You don't, damn it. Sorry. Let me just grab all that stuff for you. And let me just take it from here, because I know exactly what everybody's thinking before they even know what they're thinking. And I know who's going to want hamster cages probably a week before they know. And so I got you. I will just start showing them your ad. This is literally how it works. It's ridiculous, right? So the products are, it's really important that, you have to have a demand for them. I mean, I guess that's common sense, but somebody's got to want to buy it, right? And they have to be available. You have to have a supplier who actually is going to drop ship them for you, and not going to flake on you, and is actually a real supplier, and has good pricing, because you also have to have an acceptable profit margin. So it's actually hard for me to look at these because of the, oh no, here I can move the screen. So here are just a few. You may have seen these actually in our PDF. These are more for examples of kind of what we're talking about here. The idea really is, it's anything, anything that fits the bill of, having a good profit margin, also having a lot of people looking to buy it, and also we can get it. If it falls into that category, we really don't care too much. So, how about a hiking travel backpack? And if you kind of take a look at the, some of the metrics there, what it's selling for, what we can buy it for, and then look at, some of the traffic that we think we can get, and what we could convert that to. Some of these are staggering. I mean, you might look at a product like this and figure you could be earning $20,000 or more in profit per month. And this kind of, it kind of fits out. I mean, even if it's, this is less for, oh, this will be the exact number, and more for relatively looking at different opportunities. But hell, even if it's, half that, it's a pretty good start for one product, right? Same thing with, telephoto camera lens. Again, completely different niche. But you can see how this changes when you look at the data elements, and you look at, you've got potentially less traffic on this, maybe some, less money per sale. And so, if you compare that one to the other one, well, maybe you kind of pass on this. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches, it's certainly not bad to make $1,000 a month in profit. It's not bad to make $1, but if I could make 20,000 or 10,000, that might be better. Language translator. This one is looking pretty good. Look at, again, what is the market demand? Are there people searching? How many people are searching? How many of those could we get? And what could we convert them to? How many of those visitors to our site that would come look at this would become buyers? And then what can we buy it for? What's the margin? You get the idea. 16,000 a month in profit. Portable scanner, 2,000 a month in profit. The Mummy. What is that? That must be a UK thing. Because they don't mean like Egyptian mummy. That would be like what the US would think Egyptian mummy. The Mummy diaper bag, 7,000 a month in profit. A lot of people looking for the Mummy diaper bag apparently, and a pretty high margin there too. So you get the idea. I mean, it's any product. We don't care, right? And why would you? We never cared back in the day either. I didn't give a, again, stop cursing. I didn't really care about train horns. I always tell people though that I got very interested in them once I started making money with them. That's for sure. So let's talk about the tools and how important those are. And this is really important for speed and scale, because the finding of the products is possibly the most time-consuming thing, because you have to just sort of go through this like loop process. It's panning for gold, essentially. You have to go through this process where you kind of like get some product ideas, see if there's any demand for them, see if I can get them, see what they're being sold for, and kind of go through that cycle and circle until something pops out at the bottom, like the diaper bag or whatever, where it's like, oh, I could make, 20,000 a month in profit. But that takes a long time to find those, those nuggets. So I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to stop this 1 second so I can see if I can pull up Profit Vault here quickly. Aiden.
Yeah, just while Steve is doing that, I don't know if I can, you've stopped sharing your screen, right?
Yes, I did.
So just while you're pulling that up, I'm going to take the screen over here for a second. and just let me know, guys, once. Okay, that looks like that is up. Can you see my screen, Steve, or is it?
Yes, I absolutely can.
Okay. I'm just backing up here a little bit. I want to show you where we're at so far. So we've been working through the Kibo monetization. That's what we've been working through. Steve's going to get into a demo of Profit Vault in just a second. That's one of our pieces of software, and I think you'll see that it's pretty cool. It's actually a really critical part of the process, because if you don't have a way to quickly find products, then it's not going to be scalable. I mean, you could find 1 or 2 products and maybe make some money, but this is really a tool that lets us scale this in a big way. So you get a demo of that, and it also ties in with our huge repository of over 3 million products and growing every single day. Steve, you just let me know when you're
I'm ready whenever you are, so you just let me know.
Oh, okay, cool. So let me just stop sharing my screen there again, and you can share yours.
Yeah, we're like a well-oiled machine here. Let's see. All right, let me see if this works. Did it work?
Yep, looking good.
Woo! Okay, so let's talk about the picked for you products first. And please just ignore what these products are and the data in them, because this is just a bunch of, this is our test environment. It's a bunch of test data that's in here. So we have 2 ways for you to get products within the Kibo code. We have a large database, right? And that large database is different than anything you've ever seen because of 2 big reasons. One, it is curated very carefully. We carefully selected all of the suppliers and products to make sure that these are suppliers that we have relationships with, that we've done lots of business with over the years, that they're familiar with what we're doing. Further, we've talked to these suppliers and we've said, listen, we're going to highlight you in our database. We are going to be teaching this to others. We expect cooperation and you to have these products and you to help us and you to be ready for students who want to do business with you. And that's really important. So that's one big thing that's important about our database. The other thing that's important about our database is it's not just a database of suppliers and products. It also has gone through our proprietary process where we've taken the products and we have bounced them up against other data sources so that we can understand the things that are important. And what were they? They were market demand and potential profit. But in order to know those things, you have to have looked at a bunch of things, So for example, like here, we know what the cost is, obviously, from and again, this data is not what's important. It's the concept here, the actual numbers, I mean. So we know what the cost is, and we know the MSRP can come from the manufacturer or the supplier. But this sell price is deceptively simple. It's just one number on here. But we actually go out and analyze the market conditions online and populate that. Now, that's an easy sentence to say, and it results in one number, but it is a very complex operation. But it's critical, right? Because if you don't know what you could possibly make with something, then how do you know if it's going to be something you want to do anything with, right? And then the other thing is, and I'll show you that more when we get into Product Analyzer. The other thing is about market demand, and we also analyze that. So, but I started out by saying we have a big database, which is true, millions of products. But then we wanted to do one better than just give everybody one database. We wanted to say, you know what, it's really important for us to get rid of obstacles and to make sure that everybody, just gets success as fast as possible. We are going to pick the cream of that database. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to apply ridiculously strict filters to that to pick out the absolute stone cold winners, of the group. Now all the products are good, right? But these are less than 0.5% of every product in the database, okay, that make up the cream. And then what we're going to allow you to do as, a member of the Kibo code is to come in here and select 5 of them that are for you. Okay, you're going to go in here and you can just tool around and look. You can't really do anything other than just randomly dip into the database. You can hit refresh and you'll see new ones. And then you find ones that you like and you add to your list of products, add to my products. You can select 5. Once you say add to my products, they are no longer available for anyone else. Okay, that's the key. And they become yours and they become part of your stable of 5 products that are out here. You can see I've selected 2 out of 5. So you'll have 5 products, and we plan on spending time building a big business with your 5 products that you pick. Okay. But then, of course, and I should say also, it's not just that you have the products. The other thing about the pick for you products, and I'll use the placeholder products as an example, which I won't get into right now. Each of the products that is yours comes with the perfect description, like this level of quality description that will end up on your site. Okay. So you don't have to do any of that. And that's very, very important. Okay. The other area that we can look at products is just the overall product database. Now I talked to you about the, having access to getting your products. And this is your way into the rest of the products, the rest of the millions of products. Okay. And again, it's all about, slicing and dicing, searching on, market demand, and how much these products can make you, and maybe you're interested in those and things like that. We have a lot to talk through and teach you about that. But the concept is you can now dip in and slice and dice into the overall database. And what you're doing essentially is you're constantly adding them to your products. And you'll have this My Products tab. And this will be a combination of the 5 products that you picked that are the done for you products, and any other number of products that you ultimately pick from our database, which by the way is also growing every single day. And then from here, and I have to just move the site around here a little bit. From here, it's essentially just as easy as taking any of them and publishing them to any of the stores that you have. And all sorts of things are pre-populated, and you can do as many stores as you like. And so hopefully this gives you an idea of how, that this incredibly time-consuming system that I talked about of finding products, this takes all of that away, and that's why it's so valuable. Let me go back to where I was here, Aiden.
So, Steve, maybe I can grab these slides back off you here, and we'll go do a bit of a recap. And we've got a lot of people asking just about some of the different components of the Kibo code. So just stand by for a second while I get my stuff ready here. And okay. All right. So quick recap now. Steve's hit on a lot of these points already, but they're important. So we'll recap them. The first big one is that there's no traffic issues because of the way that we're getting this traffic. It's not like complex. It's not costly either. Like some of the other common suspects out there. It's also not, doesn't take a long time to get. It's literally a switch. We got nothing against search engine optimization or any of the other methods, but the beauty of the shopping platform traffic is that it is fast and it's cost effective. It's very low risk. You're not buying inventory up front. So that obviously eliminates a lot of the risk from the get-go, and there's very, very little competition. You got high margins, especially when we're able to sell products like a drone, which might cost $80. We might be making $40, $50, profit per sale on selling something like that. And you can get results quickly. Now that's mainly down to being able to get a store up and running quickly and being able to get traffic to it quickly. And there are no supplier headaches because of the amazing database that we've put together for you. And a couple of these products could be making you thousands of dollars per day. We've shared some examples, and we might share more later about products that earn $1,000 a day or more. So you don't need to have many products. This works regardless of where you are in the world. I've seen in the chat box, the scrolling chat feed there, that we do have people beaming in from all over the place. JB is one of our beta testers. He's in Argentina. And we helped him get set up and running, and he did amazingly well in his first couple of weeks. Now, you might not, reach the kind of heights that JB got. I mean, he did $16,900 in his first couple of weeks. Maybe you'll do 1/10 of that. I don't know, $1,600 in your first couple of weeks, and maybe half of that's going to be profit. I don't know. I mean, it's different for everyone, but we've seen amazing results with our beta testers that we've been working with. Here's another example. You've probably seen this one, us talking about this. This is $316 on day one. Day 6, $1,300. That's not an accumulation of money. That's how much money came in on day 6. And, that might be 50% profit. Maybe it's 30% profit, but still it's good. $2,174 by day 30. This is the kind of thing that you can do here. And if you think back to when I was talking about the math of money and those 4 variables, one of the reasons that the Kibo code works so well is because we've got those highly cranked up, those 4 variables. So we can get a lot of traffic. That was the first variable. We've got high conversion rates. That was the second variable. We've got high profit per sale. That was the third one. And number of transactions per customer. Now, that can be quite high, or even if it was just 1 per customer, because you've got the other 3 variables really cranked up, you can make some serious money. So this is not rocket science. If you were to reverse engineer this, you'd see that of those $2,174, it's probably, you can see there's 17 orders on that one there. So someone can do the math for me on that, but it's just over $100 an order. Just over $100 per order on this one. So that's the kind of thing that we're doing here. And there you can see, look, the first 10 weeks. I mean, that's astronomical earnings. And again, maybe you won't get results like that, but the point is that some people will, and you can do that kind of a thing, and you can cash out. I mean, this part here, I think people don't realize just how powerful this is. I can't think of any other business that exists, period, that you can build up over a period of 6 months or a year or whatever it might be, and then cash out to the tune of 6 figures. So you can see on the screen there that we sold this first one on the 20th of June for $921,000. This other one on the 15th of July, $544,000. These are the purchase. Whoops. These are, where are we? These are the purchase agreements that you're seeing here, and our bank accounts showing the money coming in. So, if you could build one of these sites in the next 6 months, let's just say 6 months, get it up to earning $273 a day. That's $100,000 per year. $100,000 per year business like this, you could probably sell that for at least a couple of $100,000. Once you can show that it's a sustainable, reliable income, which it absolutely is. So that's what some people are going to do. It's not a bad trade-off to work away, building something up for a year and then flip it off for a couple of $100,000. I mean, that's a payday that most people would be pretty happy with, and that can be a life-changing payday. Or, of course, if you've got it to the point where it's earning $273 per day, just to continue with that example, then that's $100,000 per year that, once you've got things set up and established, it's pretty much hands-off. So lots to like about that. And you can do this. We've shown you different screenshots. We've worked with lots of people, and the results have been amazing. Look at this, $128,000 in a single month. These are some of the people that we've worked with. Esborn, 7 figures in his first year. Jansen, from 0 to $100,000 in his first year. Yalmar, multi-million-dollar business, having followed our guidance. Mike went from absolutely nothing to doing over $1 million in e-commerce sales per year. And other people as well, like Scott, who came in with us at a rate of $10,000 per month. And having worked with us, he's now doing over $100,000 per month. So I know these are huge numbers, and I know it's kind of hard to get your head around them, but this is what online business can do. It's something that can be leveraged and scaled enormously. So look, this is where we're at so far. We've done a few things here. We've given you a bit of a background. We've given away $500 in cash. We've got another 500 to come shortly. And the way that you can get that cash is by commenting in the, you see that there? In the live feed chat. And you can open this up in a new browser. That's the kibocode.com/chat. You can open that up in a new window, the kibocode.com/chat. And if you go there in a new window, you can just comment from time to time. Let us know how we're doing. Say anything, and we're randomly selecting winners from that. So that's how we're doing it here today. So we do have another cash giveaway coming up. We're going to do a Q&A session. Steve's going to dive into the business grid. We're going to interview one of the early adopters of the Kibo Code methodology, and you'll hear from him a little bit later on here. So there's a lot more for us to get through. So we're not doing cash giveaway right now, by the way. We are doing that in a second. I can see people typing 500, 250, 500, and all this good stuff. We will get to it soon. We'll just do a quick recap first, though. So a lot of you have probably heard us talk about the Kibo Code already. Maybe you've been to our webpage and you've learned a little bit about it. But I'm going to give you a recap now because I think it's important that you know what the different components are so that you can make an informed decision about whether or not you think this is something that could be right for you. So what we've got here is a revolutionary approach to making money online, selling physical products. It's unlike anything that we've seen other people doing online. We've been able to earn to the tune of $76,000 in a single month. So that gives you an idea of what's possible with this. And in Japanese, Kibo means scale. And from the outset of this project, we've always been trying to combine something that was scalable, something that was fast, and something that was simple. And with the Kibo Code, we've really got that. Hopefully you got the simplicity of it when Steve was going through things before. And there's a lot that we've done on our end to make things scalable and really speedy, to be quite just lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes on a live call, but it really is quite speedy as well. So it's fast and it's simple and it's scalable. So the idea here is that we're able to take you from zero, complete newbie, to making money in a very short space of time. And we do that through our training curriculum. And the beauty of this model is that you can go from newbie to having a store up within the first couple of weeks. And in fact, you could do it in one day, but the way that we work our curriculum is we're going to do things step by step by step, because we know that's going to give you the absolute highest chance of success. So in the Kibo Code, in the first couple of weeks, you'll get a store up. And then once your store is up, you'll be able to start making money from it using what we teach you in the different components and modules that we've got here. So module number 1 is the central intelligence. Now, this is all about the training. This is the blueprint, start to finish, A to Z, everything that you would need to know about this business model. This is everything that we know about the business model. We're packaging all that up. And the way that we do our training is through step-by-step videos. We do it through manuals. So every time we do a live webinar or something like that, we make a summary version of that. We make strategy manuals. We make live videos about certain topics. If you need a specific video about doing a specific thing, then maybe we'll make a supplementary video just to cover that little thing. Mind maps, and all of this training is delivered by us and our team. And the whole idea behind it is to make this as simple as humanly possible for you. So that's our guiding aim there. Now, the second component is StoreStorm. And if you've ever built websites in the past, be it an e-commerce store, a blog, or anything else, you may have had issues and headaches. That's pretty normal. I know that I've had my fair share of issues and headaches with websites over the years. But what we're doing here is we have developed a really cool piece of software called StoreStorm. And what StoreStorm does is allow you to install one of these sites and have it all configured in the way that we need to configure them to really optimize conversions at the push of a button. So it removes a lot of that headache. It removes a lot of the potential pitfalls of and traps that you could fall into if you tried to do this yourself. And it helps convert your visitors into customers. So there are a lot of different store templates out there. not all of them convert that well, but what we've got absolutely does. It's been custom built, and you're going to have access to that, and you're going to see how you can use it. And then Profit Vault, Steve's gone into this, but this is our repository of millions of products, how you can filter through them, find the best products that you want to have, and then zap them into your site. So really fast. The traffic black box, this is all about traffic, this module, obviously, and it's all of the secrets that we know specifically about shopping platform traffic, which is one of the, the magic bullets here. Now you need to know how to use it, and we'll show you how to use that with step-by-step action plans, and we'll sort of do lots of different training on this to make sure that it's nice and simple. One thing I will tell you though, is it's just a breath of fresh air, man, compared to, Facebook and things that we've done in the past, because it is finally so simple. So you'll find out about that, and you'll see all of that when you're on the inside. Oracle X is more software and tools. And what we're trying to do here is really increase the dollars that you can make per visitor that comes to your site. So this is one of the metrics that we look at, is if you're getting 100 visitors to your website, how many dollars are you making? 100 visitors, $100, 100 visitors, $200, how much are you making per visitor? And the reason that we pay close attention to this is because one way or another, it fits into the math of money that we were talking about earlier. And it's easy to measure as well. And the Oracle X software that we've put an enormous amount of time and money into developing helps you raise that number. And then handpicked products, we're giving you 5 unique handpicked products. As Steve mentioned, these really are the cream of the crop. And, even just one of these could earn you a lot of money on a recurring basis. And then Kibo Academy, this is not our first rodeo here. We've done programs in the past, and we've got a good handle on the type of support that our members need. We always try to up our game every single time. We always try to improve each course in every single aspect. And we have definitely done that this time with the Kibo Academy, because we've got new channels in there. We're going to have a community which you're going to be able to connect with other members, share what you're doing, and obviously get support from us every step of the way. So that are the 7 main components. We believe that we couldn't really have made this any more comprehensive. I think if we'd added anything else in, it would have just been filler content, because we've approached this by looking at, what's the training that people are going to need? What's the software they're going to need? What is the support they're going to need? Let's map all of that out. Let's deliver it, but not overcomplicate it. So that's what we've done there. And if you can dedicate 5 to 10 hours per week, then you will be able to get up and running with this business model. Now, the other thing that we're really excited about is that we're having a live event for Kibo Code members. These are enormously valuable. I mean, every live event that I've ever been to has been, I've always taken at least a few things away from it. It might be a connection, it might be a secret, a strategy, a tactic, or something that has resulted in me making a lot more money. So I think the same thing is going to happen to you at this live event. We've got expert speakers who are going to be coming in, and I'll talk more about this a little bit later on. We're going to be speaking specifically about the live event, but our speakers are not, how can I put this? They're not like circuit speakers. They're not people that necessarily just make a living going speaking from one place to the other to the other. What we've tried to do is pull together a group of underground experts. So it won't always be Steve and me presenting. In fact, most of the time it probably won't be, but we've tried to pull together an expert of sort of, a good word for it is sort of underground experts, people who are doing this stuff and crushing it on a daily basis. And they are the people that we think that you're going to get the most value out of. So they might not necessarily be household names. In fact, most of them might be, but man, these are people that are going to add real benefit to your business and help you grow your business. It's going to be amazing.
They're not selling anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're not selling you anything. No one's going to be selling you anything. This is all about content and making sure that you get extra value. And there's no extra cost to come to this. This is included in the Kibo code. And we do have a big announcement in a little bit here, and that's to do with the live event. I'm not going to tell you what that announcement is. You can probably hazard a guess. It's not about a speaker, but we will get to that in a little bit here, and I'll share some more information with you. So you're going to come away from this armed with a treasure chest of secrets. And I think you're going to feel inspired, pumped up, and motivated, and go away, go back to your house, back to your home, and be set to make even more money from your business. And we are going to put everyone in a position to be making money from their Kibo Code business before the live event. Okay, so that's something exciting as well. So we want to have a room full of people who are making money. And we think that if we can achieve that, then it's going to make the event even more special and more valuable for everyone. So if you do become a Kibo Code member, you're going to be able to get these 3 bonuses. And the first is the recordings of the event. So if you're unable to come, and look, I really hope that you can come to the live event, because I think it's going to be a game changer. You're going to get the recordings if you can't come, though. We understand that sometimes life gets in the way. Someone mentioned to me the other day that their son was graduating. Another person that I was speaking to said that their wife was due to have their newborn, give birth, I should say, around about the date. So he's definitely not coming. So, I mean, if you can't come, we've got you covered as well. And another bonus that we're throwing in there is the secret mastermind. So these bonuses, they're designed to be things that you don't absolutely need in order to succeed with this business, but they're nice to have. So we've got some advanced workshops about different tactics, formulas, strategies, things that we do in our business, maybe not specifically related to the Kibo Code, but definitely related in some way, shape or form. And that's the second bonus here. And scaling secrets. So Steve and I think one thing that we are quite good at is scaling businesses, building businesses. We've got 6 different multi-million-dollar businesses at this point. And there's definitely a few tricks in going from 6 figures to 7 figures. Some things that we're going to be sharing with you in this third bonus. And again, the Kibo Code is simple. You don't need any special experience. You just need to be able to follow instructions. And we feel like we're doing our part by making sure you've got the tools and the training and the support. And we're making it as push button as humanly possible. And we're eliminating so many of these obstacles that we talk about. And we firmly believe that this is the best opportunity out there right now for building an online business. We haven't been excited about anything related to e-commerce as we are about this. I got started in 2005. I've never quite seen an opportunity like this one come along, whereby you can combine, simplicity, speed, and scale. Oftentimes in online businesses, you can start building something which could have huge scale, but it's not simple, or it's not fast, or you might get into an opportunity that can give very, very fast results, but it might not be hugely scalable. We've all seen those from time to time, but this really is scalable, it is fast, and it is simple. So we think it's the perfect opportunity. Now, something that I'm pretty grateful for actually is that we've been able to help thousands of people over the past decade. And it never gets old hearing success stories. I think we've got an amazing track record with the people that we've helped. And we know that we can help you as well because we have helped people from all different backgrounds. And I think if you think about what this could potentially do for you, and I can talk from my own experience here a little bit, but for me, family time is really important. And this can definitely give me unlimited family time. I see also in my family, my dad has just retired, and I see him going into retirement with his pension. And I can't say that he's got like a super secure retirement. I wouldn't really want to be banking on a pension or something, but this is something that can definitely give you a secure retirement once you get it up and running. This can make you $100, $200, $500, $1,000 per day. So it can obviously allow you to be your own boss. We've definitely done that. And it can give your kids opportunities as well. I'm not just talking about opportunities to work in the business, but that's a cool one. But the chance to do things that maybe you didn't have the ability to do when you were growing up. Like my son, I'm able to send him, and it's not just to do with this business model, but I'm able to send him to a bilingual school here in Argentina because I've got the finances to do that. And this can give you those kinds of finances to do whatever it is that you want to do. Everyone's got different things. Financial freedom is something that most people aspire to have. Location freedom and time freedom to really live your life on your terms and be steering your own ship and not just being tugged along by the current. So what's it going to take for you to join us today? I think you've seen the immense value here. We've got 7 really important core components, and we've got these bonuses. The value is huge. Now, we can only accept a limited number of people in. We are starting this on Friday, so there's not much time left now. We want to get you in and going through the content that we've got, the pre-start content before Friday, and on Friday we're going to get started in earnest with the delivery, and we don't reopen our programs. I mean, that's a reality. If you've been in our programs in the past, you'll notice that, you know, we're not going to come along and just let more people in later. We don't do that. We shut down. We only do this once a year, and then we're focused on building the business and helping you build your business. So, I mean, you've seen the enormous value, and the reason that we have these slides here is because we want to put it in perspective. And I think $9,997. We've got a mastermind group. You may have heard of it. It's called the Blueprint Academy, and people pay $12,000 a year to have access to that. And when we started putting the Kibo code together, we looked seriously at if we could sell this at $9,997, and we absolutely could. And we would have been working with a smaller group of people for obvious reasons, and that would have been a lot of fun. But we know that that price, $9,997, would have put it out of reach of the vast majority of people. So even if we feel like this is something that Real Deal is worth investing that much on, we didn't think that we could really sell it at that price point, because we would be excluding so many people that we want to help, people who have been in our programs in the past. So we didn't end up pricing it at $9,997, but we do feel that beyond any shadow of a doubt that it's worth that. And we didn't even price it at half of that. We decided that we wanted to make it as affordable as possible. And the way that we've done that is by coming up with two different payment plans. So there's a one-time payment plan. Most people are taking the payment, not payment plan. There's a one-time payment option. Most people are taking that. That's a payment of $3,497. And I think the reason that a lot of people take that is they want to commit 200%, and that's really the best way to do that. And secondly, because it's got an instant discount built into that price of $491. So that option is $491 cheaper than the split pay option. But we did want to make sure that people could get in for less than that if they couldn't, if they couldn't get in for $3,497. That's why we've got the 4-part payment option there, which is 4 payments of $997. And you can see the link on the screen there. It's thekibocode.com/start. That's where you can go to invest in this. And when you go there, you'll see a checkout page. It's a secure checkout run through ClickBank. Actually, you'll see an option where you get to choose which payment plan you're going to take. And then you're going to see that you can pay with a credit card, PayPal. You put your information in there, you click the purchase button, and literally seconds later, you're going to be on the inside. And I also want you to know that you've got zero risk with this. So we wanted to cover you 200% for your investment here. And I'll show you how we're doing that in just a second. But the first part of our zero risk guarantee is that you've got a 30-day guarantee. Now, 30 days is plenty of time for you to get up and running and know whether or not this is going to work. I mean, you're going to know within the first couple of weeks whether or not you think this is right for you. So 30 days is absolutely plenty of time for you to test drive this. And look, you can jump in, and if you just decide that it's not for you, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so you can get in risk-free. You can see the link there, thekibocode.com/start. And if you change your mind, 29 minutes from now, 29 days from now, email us. We will get your money back. No hard feelings, no questions asked. Now, you might also be wondering at this stage, you know that you've got no financial risk because you've got the 30-day refund. But what if you try everything out and it just doesn't work? So something that we're doing here, and no one does this, we're doing a double your money back guarantee. So the way that this works is, as long as you follow every step of the training curriculum without deviation, actively use our support system and our tools and our resources, then we'll guarantee not only to refund your purchase, but to double your money back if for some reason you're unable to get sales in the first 60 days. We know that when you set up a website and follow our system, you will be able to make sales. You will be able to make sales, and you will be able to scale that. We are incredibly confident in that. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you've succeeded in the past or failed in the past. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. As long as you can follow a simple recipe, as long as you're reaching out to us when you need help, then I am 100% certain that we can help you with this. We get you to the point where you're making money, and we can definitely do it within inside of 60 days. In fact, my hope is that you will be making money this month. You will be making money in the next few weeks. That's certainly what we're setting out to do here. But look, we wanted to show how confident we are. We wanted to show how certain we are that you can do this. And we wanted to make sure that you can come into this feeling that you've got absolutely no risk, because you really don't. Sometimes people don't take advantage of an opportunity because they are worried about something. What if it doesn't work? Or, what if something bad happens? There really is no downside with this. You've only got win-win. And we want to change as many people's lives as we can. I mean, I want to meet you at the live event and shake your hand and say, look, congratulations, man. You took the leap of faith, you jumped in, you built one of these businesses. But I don't want that not to happen because you're afraid of getting in. I don't want that not to happen because there's something preventing you getting in. So one of the reasons that we did this, quite frankly, a lot of people would say it's a crazy guarantee, is one, it's because we know that this works and we know it can work for you. But secondly, because we really want to show that. We want to put our money where our mouth is and say, look, this really real deal, this does work. This does work. So if you'd like to jump in, and we'd love to have you, you can go to that link that you can see on the screen there. Spaces are almost fully taken now. We are reaching the point where we will be shutting this down soon, and people are going to miss out. That's the reality. The reality is also that once we close down, no one else will be able to come in. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I firmly believe that. Hopefully you can see that I genuinely believe that as I'm sharing this with you here. Once in a lifetime, I mean, that's cliche, but it's real. Since 2005, I've never seen something. I've said this a few times now. I've never seen anything that combines the simplicity, the speed, and the scale of what the Kibo code brings for you. So I would urge you, look, if you want to get in, just jump in. Jump in right now. You can use that link that you can see on the screen there, thekibocode.com/start, and get in. And look, I can see the messages come in here saying, I trust you 100%. You guys are trustworthy. You're the real deal. Thank you. I hope maybe they're coming from people that have been with us in the past, or maybe they're coming from people who have just jumped in. But look, we don't take this lightly. We know that you're investing in us and our system, and we are going to do everything that we can to make you succeed with this one way or another. We are going to hit capacity. This is not some kind of a false scarcity. It happens every year, and we are going to hit capacity this year as well. By waiting one more day, you could miss out on this. That's the reality. And not just because we might be closed, but also because what if something happens and then you don't have internet for the next 24 hours or something, or life gets in the way, some emergency happens and you're unable to get in and make the investment. So that's why we're urging people, take this opportunity to jump in. It would also be great if you haven't jumped in yet, if you can jump in before we wrap up this Super Sunday live session, because then if you do have any issues during checkout, we'll be able to help you and get you in. We'll be able to direct you to our support system and help you get in that way or something. So I do urge people to jump in right now. And if you have just decided that you're going to get in, if you've just decided in the last 15 minutes or so, just type decided in that live chat. And I know that a good number of people here are already in. So thank you for that. Thank you for putting your trust in us and getting in. We are going to be doing a cash giveaway in just a second here. Before we do that, I want to just recap on our rough schedule. And look, I can see that we are half an hour. Are we half an hour behind schedule? Yeah, we're half an hour behind schedule right now, but that's fine because we don't have a hard stop today. We could be talking for 6 hours. Steve will love that. He loves talking for long periods of time.
I don't know about 6 hours.
Well, I'm going to get some coffee pretty soon, and that'll keep me going for another few hours. So anyway, I can see many of you are typing decided. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for putting your trust in us again. We've got lots more good stuff to come. In fact, in a couple of minutes here, we will do the cash giveaway. And then we're going to do a bit of Q&A. Then Steve's going to get into the business grid. We're going to be talking, interviewing one of these early adopters. And then we've got a huge announcement, which is related to the live event. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. We're going to give you a sneak peek inside the Kibo code as well. And give another recap for people that may come on later. And then we're going to get into some more, sharing some more thoughts with you about how to break the chains, how to propel yourself forwards in 2020, and in particular with this business model. So we are going to do a giveaway now, Steve. But the question I have for you is, should we do $250 to 2 people, or should we do $500 for 1 person? What do you think, Steve?
I'm going to to say
we
let's
did
do
500
250.
last time.
Let's do 250 for 2 people.
Okay. So let's see here. I'm just looking on my other machine here. I found the first winner, and Steve, I'll let you choose the second if you can see it
Okay.
there. But the first winner in here is Terry Smith. Terry Smith, congratulations, $250 coming your way. Terry, just let me know that you are here. And Terry, if you could, well, we'll reach out to you. Actually, Terry, you reach out to us. That's the best thing for you to do. And I'm going to write down our support desk, but it's support@thekibocode.com. And while I'm doing that, Steve, maybe you could get the next randomly selected winner there.
I have the next winner of $250 is Dino Wayman, Dino, and then last name Wayman, Wayman. And I think the idea here is please reach out to our support, and they will have your name. And there you go. Yeah.
There you go. That's and of course do you call that a typo when you make a mistake when you're writing freehand? Is that a typo? Anyway, I
think you could say typo, yes.
I made like a typo with my freehand, but it's support@thekibocode.com. So that's where you can go. That's not where you need to go to. That's where you need to send an email to. So it was, we got those down. It was Terry and the other one that you said there. I think you got that name written down right, Steve. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was on mute. Dino Wayman.
Yep. Okay. Dino and Terry. Congratulations, guys. We are doing another cash giveaway pretty soon. Okay. So stick around for that. And again, from now on, this is how this is going to work. From now on out in these slides, and we've still got a couple of hours here, we are going to have the URL where you can go to invest in this at any point in time. We'll just have that. We've tried to build it into every single slide here from now on out, because I know that there are people that maybe are ready to jump in or are going to jump in over the next hour or so. So when you decide that you're ready to jump in, you can go to that URL, and we'll keep it on the screen there for you to make it nice and convenient. Okay, so Steve, I know we've got some questions that we have been curating, and look, it's pretty hard for us to suck questions out of the live feed because of how dynamic that is there, Steve. But I know that you've been earmarking a few. Do you want to go through a few of them right now? And you are still muted, I think. You see, technology does get the better of Steve sometimes. And I keep reminding him of it.
I know, I'm sorry. So actually, Mark behind the scenes here has been flagging stuff. So I actually have a bunch of questions that have been, that are from the chat. So I'll just go through these, all right? Okay, and so live event, do I need to buy another Kibo Code account so both of us can go? This is a chat about business partners and stuff. So here's the deal, guys. While we absolutely support business partners, we make allowances within all of our training programs to support business partners, and some sharing of tools and things like that. Because of the cost of live events, it is one ticket per membership, at least to to all of the events, the speaking parts of it. So, if your spouse wants to come along, that's okay. And they can travel with you, of course, and stay in the same room and stuff, discounted rooms and such. But unfortunately, we're only able to have one person per Kibo membership, sign up. Why are we not using Webinar Room? I don't even know exactly what Webinar Room is, but we're trying to have this kind of different flavor than a webinar, where we can do this live broadcast and do what all the kids are doing and be on YouTube, I guess. So let's see. I would like to know more about the fulfillment that you're offering with the program. Do you have your own warehouse or just an app to fulfill from other platforms, and which platforms? So I think it's important for everybody to understand that we are not a middleman in between the suppliers and you. So there's over the years, we've sort of looked at what's the best way to do this in helping people. And what we've decided is that the best compromise is to not have you worry about finding suppliers, because that became too much of a roadblock. We'll find suppliers and products, and we'll make sure that those suppliers and products are, grade A, and they're ready to work with you and all that sort of stuff. So we get rid of all those problems. We get rid of people who don't want to like call people and talk to them and all. I get it. Totally get it. And we want to stay out of any kind of central middleman fulfillment warehouse kind of thing. We don't want to be in the middle of that relationship. So we're gonna set up the relationship, and then you're gonna manage the relationship. So we don't make any money off these products. We're not in the middle of these products. We're not your purchasing agent or anything like that. We're simply making sure that these suppliers are awesome. The products are awesome. They're there and ready. And if there's a problem with that, we get involved and so on. But then from there, your stores are going to talk directly to the suppliers with regard to placing orders and fulfillment and so on. And we think that that's really the best compromise. It gives the best of all worlds to everybody. Can you tell me in general, most of the items, what percentage of sales is profit? In other words, I think what the question is what's our profit margin? So my personal opinion is that the best thing to forecast is 30%. Some will be less, some will be more. Many of our beta testers were operating at a much higher profit margin, but I think 30%. Do we have the option to purchase any products we sell for ourselves? Sure, of course, absolutely. Okay, somebody says that. All right, Mark, that was not a question. I will be a millionaire soon. Okay, well, I'm going to help you with that. Buying from, let's see, could you please, buying from Amazon is quick, reliable, and secure. What do you do to win the competition with Amazon? So we don't look at it as competition with Amazon. I think that that if you had a straight up, all things being equal, competition with Amazon, you lose. But that's okay, because we're not doing that. So if we're gonna guaranteed be losing that competition, then my business strategy is, well, I'm not gonna fight that battle. I'm gonna fight a different battle that I can win. And that different battle is simply a different path of customers and a different way of presenting products. And another great example of that is like when we started selling on Amazon, somebody would always say to me, well, that's just stupid because, I mean, you can get that stuff cheaper on eBay. Everybody's just going to go there. Yeah, they don't. They just don't. The eBay shoppers are a silo of traffic. Amazon shoppers are a silo of traffic. And, people who are searching on Google for things is a different silo of traffic. And they're all good. So we don't fight the battle. We don't compete with Amazon directly, although there are some areas where we can do better. And I don't think we're going to have time to show you that example, but we can. But let's not fight that battle. Let's fight our own battle. All right, let's see. What other costs are involved with doing this? So we try really hard to make that very, very low or zero. And, because there's never anything else to buy from us. And in fact, somebody asked me the specific question, well, after the initial cost of getting into the Kibo code, how do you guys make more money? We don't. We do not. Sorry, but we need to figure that out, maybe. No.
Well, don't forget we are building this business as well. One of our goals this year is to grow our Kibo code stores.
Absolutely.
The stores that we are teaching you how to build. One of our goals there is to grow that part of our business by $10 million in 2020. So obviously we've already got a lot of money coming in through those revenue streams, but we want to actually grow them by 10 million. So that's a big deal for us. We always learn from everyone that comes in as well. I mean, we're very open to learning from the lessons that other people go through, the different strategies and tactics. It happens every time where someone comes in, they say, oh my God, I discovered this thing. And when I added this to my site, I managed to boost my conversions by, so we benefit from that as well. But our big thing is we sell one course a year, but then we're in the trenches actually building our business. So that's the main way that we go about making money. Steve, do we want to take more questions, or should we talk a little bit about the business grid there, and then we've got the early adopter after that?
Yeah, let's see, maybe just one or two more. Let me just go through these real quickly and see if I pull out one or two. And because I don't think we have to spend as much time on business grid. I think I might rather spend some more time on these.
Right.
Let's I want to just finish that answer though about the other costs. So and that's really, they're very small. A domain, $9 or $10, a Shopify account, although you get the first 30 days free. And then some plugins, $5 or $10. Shopify is like $28 a month or something like that. So, there are some other expenses, but they're not really all that high. Vanessa said, my favorite thing you guys said is when we were talking about ad spend, because people were asking like, well, how much is the ad spend? And people are like, well, and I thought people are expecting like a number like 10 or something. And she rightly, said, if you're making $2 for every dollar you spend on ads, how much do you want to spend on the ads? $2 bajillion, like everything you have, right? It's just a different way of thinking. And so I think everybody needs to understand that you control it, right? Think about the fact that about 3 out of every 100 people will buy, right? So in order to make one sale, you might have to spend like at 30 cents a click, maybe you'll spend $30 to make 3 sales. And you can control how you scale from there. But if you're spending $30 to make 3 sales, I'm going to guess that you are making more than $10 per sale on in profit on each of those. That's the goal. And so if you're making 20, then that means for every dollar you spend on advertising, you're getting 2, one to pay off the advertising and one that's profit. So how many of those clicks do you want? You want as many as you possibly can get. You want to spend, tons of money, but you can do it whenever you want, so that's the thing. Let's see, just want to go through and just make sure there isn't anything else like absolutely. How long does it take to ship the items? So that's a question that's probably coming from someone who didn't get that all of our suppliers in the US, these goods are shipped and received in a couple days. So it's not like 6 weeks like it could be from China. Can we build multiple stores? You could build as many as you want. Product supplied in the US, but possibly made in China. Yeah, they could have been made in China, but we don't care. We don't really care where the goods are made because they're going to be delivered in the time that we need them to. How do we get access to products after the first 5? Well, so you get the first 5 and that's designed to have done everything for you and get you up and running and build you a business with those 5. But then you have unlimited access to the whole big database that's constantly being added to for our own use too. And so there is no limit on how and how you get to use that. Okay. All right. I think that does it for us, Aiden, on the.
Okay. So let's see. Let me, there we go. So that's the business grid. Do you want to talk to this a little bit, Steve? And then, I think the thing that we want to get across here is just some of the pros and cons. Now we've spoken a lot about this. We've spoken to this a little bit right at the very beginning when we spoke about our e-commerce story, but maybe you just want to talk to it a little bit more here, Steve, and sum up why we think the Kibo code is the way to go.
Yeah, I think just briefly, and then we can maybe get into I think people will probably be more interested in talking to, Sean about, an early adopter. So Sean, get ready. We're going to talk to you soon. Hopefully Sean's here, or, if I had a broadcast booth and 20 people, somebody would be talking in my ear. I think this is the analysis that everybody has to go through in order to figure out, look, if your goal is to build an online business, to be an entrepreneur, to get those freedoms that we're talking about, and I assume everybody here is looking for that, or why would you be here? Then you really have to be asking yourself, or you should be asking yourself, which business model am I going to pursue? All of them generally have some pros and cons, but obviously what we're trying to point you towards is a business model that we think, we've really gotten rid of all the cons and have kept all the pros. Beginner friendly, yes. Capital required, no. You don't want that. Success rate, yes, very high. Traffic ease, which can be a huge roadblock for people. Yes. Marketing effort, meaning, do you have to be a graphic designer? Do you have to be a copywriter? You have to design landing pages. You have to, do all that, marketing MBA type stuff. And for this business model, no, you do not. Technical work, like, do you have to do, programming or any kind of, complex web implementations? No. Content creation? No, you don't have to even write any content really. And, we're not doing blogs and articles and all that sort of stuff. Strategic thinking. I mean, hopefully we all use a little bit of strategic thinking, but, not so much with this. I mean, if you sort of think about doing an information product, you have to do a lot of strategic thinking about just where that fits in the marketplace and, what problem are you trying to solve and how do you, present that to people and so on. So no, short-term, long-term, this is huge. And a big yes for Kibo Code because it's so quick, right? We can get the short-term results, but oftentimes a model that has, short-term results is kind of a flash in the pan. And I think that there's a lot of reasons, and I'm going to try and get into that with Sean when we talk to him. There's a ton of reasons why this is a long-term, or the evidence suggests that this is a long-term viable method, which is fantastic and easy to outsource. Absolutely. And in fact, again, another thing that we'll touch on a little bit with Sean. So yeah, I think it's kind of a no-brainer that when you look at this and you're trying to figure out which one you should pursue, that, Kibo Code is kind of a no-brainer.
So do we have Sean on the call? Sean,
God,
maybe you can go ahead and show your video there, or have you just gone missing in action?
No, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we can't see your video.
I think I'm turning it on. There we go.
Oh, there he is.
There we go. How's it going?
Good. You ditched the headphones, yeah?
Yeah. I thought I'd look a little better this way. I don't know.
All right. So first thing, let's just introduce yourself and just give us a little background just about you personally and stuff like that. And I'm guessing that, since you're Canadian, it'll have something to do with hockey and Tim Hortons and maple syrup and all that kind of crap that you people do up there.
Fair enough. Yeah. So thanks for the intro here. I live up in Toronto, Canada, born and raised, 35 years old, got a wife, 2 kids. Started my online journey back in late 2013. Almost a similar story to Steve's. I wasn't quite as successful in the corporate world, but sort of just running the rat race, so to speak. And where I live is about an hour and a half outside of downtown Toronto. So it'd be like getting up at 6 in the morning to drive an hour and a half to work, to sit there for 8 or 9 hours, to drive an hour and a half back. I barely had any time with my kids, barely had any time with my family. So, jumped into the online business and never really looked back. So
yeah,
that's me in a nutshell. Canada, hockey, whatever,
Maple syrup and Tim Hortons, I'm sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all I know. By the way, the reason I say all those things, it's all I know about Canada. That's it.
Fair enough.
As Americans, we don't know what goes on up there.
We don't live in igloos, though. Let me just throw that out there.
Yeah. So I know that you've got a bunch. You weren't inexperienced when we first met you, for sure. You had lots of different, again, like some affiliate marketing and CPA offers and stuff like that. But several years ago, you got pretty heavy into e-commerce. What was that model that you were doing, a few years back?
Yeah, so I started kind of on eBay and Amazon back in 2014 and, did really well there. But, you know how it was back then. Everybody and their sisters started jumping in. So margins just started going down and down and down and down and down. And it got really difficult to continue on. So around, I'd say 2016 or so, I jumped into the, Facebook game, free plus shipping offers from AliExpress. We were selling like little Harry Potter trinkets for, you buy them for $1 and you charge $10 shipping, and your conversion cost on Facebook would be like $4 because clicks were like 5, 6, 7 cents. They were so cheap back in the day, and you can get away with anything on Facebook back then. So, yeah. So
like selling trademark merchandise. Yeah.
Like selling trademark merchandise. Exactly. Right. So we would do stuff like that, and we scaled that to the moon. But then again, everybody and their sister jumped in on it. Customers got smart. Obviously, they started getting crappy packages from China of, junk product, waiting like 4 weeks to get their product. Facebook costs just went through the roof, and it just became a non-viable business model. And we started really struggling. I say we, because, I have a team now, and we're going to talk about that. But, around 2018 or so, I was almost just going to jump out of e-com. As you mentioned, I'm big in the affiliate space, CPA offers, things like that. I got a whole other side of my business, but e-com was just a real struggle. And it wasn't until, we came across this model that we're sharing today that my e-commerce business got back to more to where it used to be with eBay and where it used to be with AliExpress and Facebook. And it's been quite sustainable ever since. So that's really been my e-com journey, and really excited to share this system with everyone today because, like you guys have alluded to, I think this is the most sustainable and long-term successful business model that's out there. And I really believe that anybody can just come off the street and get started. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think, just for some context, the way that we came across each other. So Sean is a friend of a member of our, Aiden talked about it, our academy, our mastermind group, which is a small group of about 50 people. And so Sean was having the same frustrations, a couple of years ago with Facebook, the complexity of Facebook, and the suppliers from China, and some sort of viable alternative to that. So as we were sort of heading down the beginnings of the Kibo plan, the model, and also researching what was going on in Japan with Don Quixote and some other things, we met each other at that point, again through a mutual friend who was part of our mastermind, the Blueprint Academy. And, we started to talk through kind of the direction that we were headed and what problems we were trying to solve and what problems we shared. And, we were lucky to have Sean come on this journey with us to, really bring this level this model to the next level of maturity. And so Sean's been working it, kind of since the beginning of it and helping us through testing and sharing of data as we've been doing it as well. And Sean, you talked about where you're at now. I think actually this slide is actually ridiculously out of date, frankly. So where are you at now with your stores with regard to, just the size and the revenue and the stability, which I think is really important as well?
Yeah, we have 3 stores right now. We're working on a 4th actually we got this Kibo Grill thing going on right now, so it's kind of been on pause, but we're working on a 4th in the next month or 2. But our largest store right now is doing about $100,000 a month. And we've scaled that out to a team of 8 people. And, it's just been a wonderful journey. And using the methods that are taught in the Kibo Code, that are shown in the Kibo Code, the system, the suppliers, the ads, which I don't think people realize how simple it is to start a Google Shopping ad. We've really been able to just scale the hell out of this business. And with the automation that we now have in the back end through our team, I probably haven't answered a customer service email or touched an order in months. And the business just sort of does its thing on the side. And, I've gotten a lot of my time freedom back, and, allows me to focus on my affiliate marketing stuff and, just earn a lot of money and live the life that, I hope everybody else on this call will eventually get to be at as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of maple syrup,
exactly. There you go.
And what's the other thing you people eat up there? That poutine or whatever the hell that is? What is that?
Yeah, you guys are weird, man. You put mayonnaise on your French fries. We put gravy on our French fries.
Okay, just to be clear, I don't do that. So anyway, the only appropriate condiment for French fries is ketchup. Period. End of discussion.
Fair. We can agree on that.
All right. So I want to just ask you about a couple things on the, you said you had a team of 8, and I want to understand, because this is really important. Because I think people go, oh my God, I got to have a team of 8 people. Yeah, no, you don't. But when you reach the point where you're selling millions of dollars a year, yeah, you do. And this team is all offshore. and they're a great team. And I asked Sean, I was like, well, all right, well, how much are you paying for that? And it's like 25 grand a year. I think it's $24,000 a year he's paying for that, which is a drop in the bucket when you're bringing in millions of dollars a year in revenue. And it allows Sean to go to all the hockey games, so he doesn't have to be there. And as he said, answer questions and deal with the administrative stuff of the site. So at first, you're not going to do that. You're not going to hire 8 people. You're not going to hire 1. So, but the key is that you can, and it's very reasonable and it's very scaled. This is how you scale. You got to get help. This is a real business, so it's important. I want to talk to you a little bit about the longevity because that's something that because we talk about different business models in the past. And where there have been problems and things like that. How stable has the business been over the last couple of years?
Extremely stable, and not to bore people with the details on ads, but you guys touched on it in the Facebook slides, and there's one thing maybe you didn't go too far into, but yeah, you need lookalike audiences, and you need this, and you need that. But one of the most annoying things on Facebook is that if you pause an ad set, then you got to duplicate it and restart it. And there's all these different rules on like when an ad sucks, it's over, and then you got to restart it, you got to duplicate it. It's ridiculous, right? Yep. Whereas with Google, you can pause an ad, you can start an ad, whatever. It doesn't matter if you turn it on at midnight or you turn it on at noon or, whatever the heck you're doing, it just runs, okay? And it runs every day consistently. Your click costs are pretty much the same every day. Your conversions are pretty much the same every day. Yeah, okay, some, Fridays and Saturdays are usually better than like Tuesdays, that type of thing. That's the normal e-commerce cycle and things like that. But It's extremely predictable on knowing what my sales are going to be any day of the week. Your products never go out of stock. I can't say never, I guess, but it's an extremely rare scenario. And they're coming to the customers from the United States. People are happy. You never have to worry about chargebacks or like exorbitant amount of refunds. It literally eliminates all of the drawbacks of all the other types of businesses out there. So we've been able to have stable growth in this model, whereas around the 18-month mark in previous models, we started to stagnate and see decline, and there was just no way out. So, I can see this model lasting a very long time, and we're excited about it. And like I said, I'm moving on to a 4th store coming up soon, and the sky's really the limit. So sorry for rambling on there, but it's exciting because you can predict that every single day you wake up, your sales are going to come in. You don't have to worry about Facebook slapping you or the China supplier taking 4 weeks to get the product to your customer. It's just
we've all been there, that's for sure.
Oh, it's brutal, right? So
I agree with you 100%. I mean, for me, it comes down to 3 things that drive the longevity here. The first is the platform of Shopify. Shopify, and we might get a chance to talk about this or not. Shopify is quietly doing a lot of things in the background to become a force to be reckoned with. And I can tell you that Shopify has Amazon in their target, and in their sites. And no monopoly lasts forever. And if you could have gotten in on the ground floor of selling private label on Amazon like we did, you'd be sitting pretty. And I'm telling you that this is the ground floor to become a Shopify seller. Absolutely. The second thing I think that speaks to longevity is the Google shopping platform. The process and how it works has changed for years. There is no ad platform that stays stagnant for weeks, never mind years. This ad platform has remained the same for years because there ain't much to it. You say, I got this to sell, and Google says, okay, I got it from here. That's it. So there's not a lot of things to move around. The third thing that I think speaks to longevity is the suppliers and the products, as Sean said. You can't be worried about faulty, flaky suppliers, and you can't be worried about products going out of stock and all that sort of stuff. So I think those are the 3 things that really speak to the longevity, as Sean mentioned, just to summarize. So, Sean, man, thanks so much for taking your time.
Thanks, Sean.
I appreciate it. I know you have,
awesome.
Tim Horton coffee, maple syrup, and hockey to get back to. So I totally appreciate that.
Steve loves his Canadian jokes.
I do.
I don't know, man, how many.
I was going to say, I appreciate the extremely stereotypical Canadian interview that you just gave.
But you're too polite to be angry, so I like that. That's good.
It's true. I'll probably apologize at the end.
Love it.
Take care, guys.
All right. Cheers, man.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for that. So, guys, hopefully give us some feedback in the live chat that we've got there. And if you're not using that, just to reiterate, you can go to, in a new browser, the kibocode.com/chat. And you can open up in a new browser, a new tab or a new browser or something, the chat feed, and give us some feedback. Was that useful, hearing from someone who's actually been working in this business for a while and been behind the scenes with us doing different things? Hopefully it was an inspiration, because that's what you can definitely grow towards. Now, I have got my coffee, so I'm recharging the batteries here. Is anyone else drinking coffee out there? Just let me know. Type coffee in the question box if you're drinking coffee at the same time as me. I'll find out in about 20 seconds when the chat catches up. Anyway, guys, we are going to continue pushing on here. And the next thing that we've got, Steve, is this results first approach that we're taking. I wondered if you wanted to just talk through this about our whole vision and the innovative approach that we're taking here. Yeah.
This is something that we've been thinking about a lot. Well, we think about it all the time, I mean, it's because it's the most important thing, really, that I think we can do. I mean, because, and the reason is, it doesn't matter how good your model is that you're trying to teach people if people don't take action and learn it and implement it. And, this is, I mean, our whole vision, and our goal, and I talk a lot about this with the people I manage, is not to just teach this stuff. It's to make sure that people actually accomplish something with it. And we're trying some very new, and also, I would say, I'm not sure I want to use the word extreme. I don't want to scare anybody. We're not going to show up at your house. Well, I mean, maybe. But we're using some rather unorthodox, perhaps is the best way to say it, methods to try and put an extreme focus on getting people to take action. We're going to be much more proactive than we have in the past. I mean, I think in the past we've sort of said, look, we're doing all we can. We're leading the horse to water. If the horse doesn't drink, what the hell else can I do? But I think over the years, we've sort of come to the conclusion that maybe there's a little bit more we can do to get the damn horse to drink. Sorry, I'm referring to students as horses. I apologize for that. So you're the horse in this metaphor.
Well, you just replied to you referred to our team behind the scenes as hamsters a moment ago.
I did. Well, one of the benefits of getting older is you just don't care anymore what people think about you. So it's okay.
I'd hate to know what you call me behind my back. Jesus.
Only good things. Only good things. We're spending a lot of time putting some things in place for this group that's going to join us on this journey. And, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I guess I just wanted to point out that, it's different for us this time. We're going to spend a lot of time trying to make you drink, even if you aren't doing that on your own. And we're going to do that through a lot of proactive engagement and proactive monitoring. And, kind of our mantra is, leave no man or woman behind, I mean, that's really our goal. If we leave people on the battlefield, without getting them to what their version of success is, then, we failed. And I know we won't get 100%, but we can try, and it kind of starts with attitude on our team. And that's, look, we're going to make you successful on your schedule, because, there are people that who've invested in the Kibo code that have a vacation planned, or, have a personal family issue they have to deal with maybe for a month or whatever. So there are reasons why people will modify the schedule. That's perfectly acceptable. Life does get in the way sometimes, but we'll make you successful on your schedule, or we're going to know why, and hopefully we'll fix it. I mean, that's kind of our rallying cry. And we are going to focus quite a bit on the picked for you products. We have invested, I don't know even there. I'm not sure I could put a number on it, but we've invested, when I talked about the half of 1% of all the products make it into the cream, it wasn't a computer doing that. These are all manually curated. So we've just spent a lot of time and effort putting those together. And I will be incredibly disappointed if we don't get everyone leveraging those. And so we're gonna put an enormous focus on those at first. And oh, by the way, you've seen how big a business just 3 products can build. So nobody needs to be disappointed with that. 5 products will build you a very good business. And if not, we'll find out why and we'll fix it. So anyways, probably enough on that. I think, we're going to do some different things. We've also asked, our early adopters for some advice as well. And I've got, a bunch of good advice that people have written in that I'm reading through right now. And we're going to finalize all of our decisions on that. But stand by if you join us, because again, we won't show up at your house, but we might be a little bit more annoying than usual.
Yeah, it's all with the objective of getting you to the finish line faster. Exactly. and making more money. So this is just the rough schedule. And before I get into this, I'm glad that there are a lot of other people drinking coffee out there. I saw people drinking red wine, turmeric, all kinds of different tea. And if you didn't let me know what you were drinking, I am eager to know what you're drinking. So put that in the question box. Also, let us know where you're beaming in from today. I know we've got a few Canadians here because they raised their hands when Sean was with us a moment ago. I think I've got a few fellow New Zealanders here. So anyway, we'd love to know where you're coming in from. So rough schedule right now. Okay. Huge announcement up next. We're going to be giving you a sneak peek inside the Kibo code. And then we're going to be giving you a bit more of a recap. We're going to go over the main components again. The reason that we're doing this is because we get new people tuning in all the time. At the moment, well, a few moments ago, there were 700 people that were watching this, and that goes up and down all the time. It's actually streamed on multiple platforms, so it's probably quite a few more than that actually. But we are repeating the main components of the Kibo code. I know that most people are here today because they are interested in potentially investing in the Kibo code. So we'll keep repeating some of the main components of the Kibo code, and then we'll get into some more interesting topics of discussion a little bit later on. We'll take the top 10 questions in a little bit of time there, and we've got another cash giveaway to look forward to at the end. We'll have another $500 cash to give away. We've already given away $1,000, and we said that the way that works is we want participation in the chat. So you can do that by going to, in a new browser, the kibocode.com/chat, the kibocode.com/chat. And that's how you can do that. And then we're randomly selecting winners. So anyway, on to the huge announcement now. And it's to do with our live event. I mentioned that. And it's the dates. So the dates are the 4th and 5th of April. And it's not that long away, really, is it? It's just a couple of months here. It's going to be on the East Coast of the United States soon. We're going to tell you the exact location, exact hotel, exact city very, very soon. But there's some dates to get you going to start with anyway. And I think for those of you that are members or are going to be members, as soon as we announce the hotel, you should go ahead and book, because this will be a game changer. It's going to be enormously valuable, as we've spoken about. You're going to be getting 2 days of laser-focused content here, all about the Kibo code business model. And the reason that we're highlighting that point is because there are lots of great events out there that happen every single year, but most of them are, content from lots of different places. So not just focused on one business model. They might have something about marketing, doing Facebook. They might have something about YouTube. They might have something about text message marketing. They might have building a website. They might have something. But what we're doing here is it's going to be laser focused on the Kibo code and things related to the Kibo code that can help you make more money. So in terms of an event to attend, if you are going to be building the Kibo code style websites with us, then this is going to be the most valuable event that you could attend in 2020. And again, it's got no extra cost for members. Actionable underground training. And again, there we're not we could have gone down the path of having some of these serial speakers come along, these people that are on the circuit, and they go around spreading their message, or rehashing. A lot of it's on YouTube half the time anyway. But what we're getting, it's not stuff that you're going to be able to dig up on YouTube. It's not stuff that you're going to see from these serial speakers that go around the circuit, which, by the way, that nothing bad about them. They've got some good content as well. The point is we're talking actionable underground training, 100% content, no pictures whatsoever. Just to reiterate, if you haven't jumped in yet, then go to the kibocode.com/start if you want to get in. It's easy to get in. You could be signed up within the next, I don't know, 2 minutes if you wanted to be, and then just let us know once you're in so we can thank you here. So that's anything else you want to say about the live event, Steve? That's the only slide I've got here about the live event.
No, other than it's just, it's so exciting for us. I mean, we've never done, we had a small live event that I was, kind of the lead. I think I was mostly spoke probably 80% of the time, but that was 10 years ago, maybe. So, we haven't done anything like this in so long, and never, something that of this caliber. So, I'm just really super excited about it.
Yep. So let's take a quick look inside now. I'm not actually going to go into the members area because there's some content in there which is obviously reserved for members, but at least here you can see a little bit about what it looks like. So on the homepage, there's a welcome video from Steve and I, and we actually filmed that video for you when we were in Tokyo. We were in the Park Hyatt hotel in Tokyo, and that's when we went to take a closer look at the Don Quixote stores and see how they operated, and all that good stuff. So you'll see that video. We've got a lot of pre-training content for you to get through. You can see little thumbnails on there. They are all different videos that we need you to hopefully get through all of them before we start. We do start on Friday. The way we set up our members areas, they're very simple. We've got one section which is where all of the updates are published. We've got a section that will lead you to the tools. We've got a section that gives you all the information about the various different channels of support that you can take. We've got a section for resources. We've got a section for frequently asked questions, and another one for extras. So this is the way that we've sort of built this membership, and it's based on the different programs that we've done in the past. So we've been teaching people once a year for the past decade, and we find that this works really, really well. You can get in there, you can download content, and what you'll find on the inside when we start, releasing more and more training each week are live weekly sessions. So some people have been asking, well, when are these? Well, the first one's on Friday. I believe next week is Friday as well. Then we've got one on Thursday. We do change up the times that they are each day. And this is really based on feedback that we've got from our members. We've also got weekly summary sheets. So each week we might do a 60-minute, 90-minute live training workshop where we're showing you how to do things. But then what we also do is we summarize all of that training down into a PDF that you can download and easily consume. Sometimes we also do audio files. So if you want to listen to the training on your commute to work or something like that, then we do that as well. Over-the-shoulder training videos, so actually showing you step by step how to do stuff, not just telling you how to do it, showing you how to do it. Mind maps, process charts, fast start guides, interviews, tools and software, different bonuses that we've promised people are available in there as well. And an ever-growing gold mine of know-how, essentially. Remember, this is all about building these Kibo-style stores, and all of the training, all of the tools, all of the support is focused on getting you to being able to do that and make money from the site as quickly as possible. So what we'll do right now, I have just finished my coffee. Yeah, it's all gone. I always get to the bottom of my mug of coffee. I don't know if let me know if this happens to you guys, but I always get to the bottom and I'm like, I just wish there was a little bit more in there. And it's always like, it's never enough. Sometimes I make it bigger, but then it's like weaker. And it's, I just.
Hey, can I just pop in just one comment? Because I've been watching the chat. There are a ton of people that were talking about this live event. Everybody's really excited about it. And there does seem to be a lot of demand for this. I've got a business partner or whatever. Here's what I'll say about this. There is no way that we will offer anyone outside of the Kibo community to join us. Okay, so that's a no-go right there. It's a non-starter. However, I would say, and I need to talk to Aiden about this, but we will at least entertain the idea. And I mean, I think it's very reasonable. If you are a member of the community and you have a partner, is there an add-on expense for like maybe one extra ticket that you could purchase, or your partner could purchase, or your spouse could purchase? We will absolutely consider that. Just as soon as we get through this and we start and we take a look at some things, we'll totally consider it. Absolutely. I understand why that would be, and that's reasonable. But what we won't do is open it to the public or anything like that. So anyway, hopefully you agree with that, Aiden, because we didn't talk about it, but there were a lot of people talking about it. So.
Yep. Cool. Good stuff. So, all right then. So let's push on here. So full recap for everyone now. The Kibo code, and again, I went over this maybe 30, 45 minutes ago, but there have been a lot of new people that have just come onto the stream, and that's happening all the time. So if you have just joined us, welcome along. We've been going for, God, how long has it been? 2 hours? 2 hours, 45 minutes. Is that right? Yeah, 2 hours and 45 minutes here. We're still chugging along, and we're doing okay. So, and you guys have been great in the live chat as well, by the way. So let's recap the Kibo code. What we are delivering here is everything that we know about this business model, along with tools and support to help you succeed with this business model. In Japanese, Kibo means scale, and from day one, that's been the name of the game for us. We want to build scalable businesses. If we can't scale it, we don't really want to build it. So we're talking about a system that you can scale enormously, but also a system that is very, very fast, and also a system that is very, very simple. So you get those three components working together, and you really get this sort of magic combination that doesn't exist and doesn't come along all that often. And the Kibo code is something that can, the Kibo code is something that can get you from complete newbie, zero, where probably many of you are right now, to making hundreds of dollars per day in just a couple of weeks. And I can't say that for any other business model that I'm involved with for different reasons, but this can absolutely get you there, and then you can scale onwards and upwards. And everything that you need to succeed with this model, we've included it. And we've done that by design. We want this course to be the most effective course for getting started building an online business. So when we sat down together and we were thinking of everything that we could pour into it, we came up, you should have seen it, it was a huge brainstorm. It took up, in Steve's office, he's got this gigantic white, it's not even a white board, it's a white wall. You may have seen it sometimes, but he's got this gigantic white wall, and you can kind of write everywhere on it, all around the walls and everything. And we created this enormous brainstorm of what would the perfect business look like? What are all the different things that we could do for people to streamline their success and to get them to the point where they're making money? And we mapped it all out, and then we went about actually finding a way that we could build this thing and create this thing. And that's what the Kibo code is. And that's why each one of the 7 components that you're getting here today, this was one section on Steve's white wall. So on one part of the white wall was, well, we're going to have this amazing training. And what is the training going to have to include, and how long should the training go for, and how should it be delivered, and all this good stuff. So this was like one enormous corner of the wall was component number 1. And then we called that the central intelligence, because that's really the center of how this whole thing how this whole sort of business works. And the way that we deliver this content, and this is what we found to be the best over the years, is by giving you step-by-step videos, by giving you strategy manuals, by giving you live weekly workshops, mind maps. And if we find, and we always learn this, if we find that we need to change up the way we're doing something because we need to go in a bit more depth in one area or focus on something else, then we do that. We're dynamic and we do it on the fly. So the central intelligence is the first part of the Kibo code, and the value here is huge. I mean, this is essentially the blueprint. So that's the first part that you're getting. The second is Store Storm. So this took up a whole nother section on Steve's white wall when we were fleshing all of this out. And we knew that it had been a challenge for people in the past to build websites. It had been a challenge that had caused a lot of people to fail. That's the reality. A lot of people failed because they couldn't build the website, or they built it wrong. Maybe that's even been you. Let me know in the live feed if you've ever felt like you didn't succeed because you didn't know how to set up the website or something. I know that happened to me definitely in my first couple of years online, but we didn't want that to be a roadblock here for anyone. So we developed a piece of software that would take everything that we build into our stores and allow you to put that on your store at literally the push of a button. So we've tried to make it as simple as possible for you and completely eliminate this hurdle by developing StoreStorm. Component number 3 is Profit Vault. Now, this was another big section on Steve's wall in this mega sort of brainstorming session that we had. And we realized that a big downfall for people in the past has been product related. So can you find a good product to sell? How are you going to know if it's a good product? Are you going to have easy access to it? So we went about, over a long period of time, developing a gigantic database. And once we had the database, and while we were developing that database, we were building processes into the back of it all that would allow us to filter products based on different criteria that we would input into the system. Steve, I don't know if you were here with us earlier, but Steve actually gave a demo of how this works. And it's an amazing thing because it allows us to analyze tens of thousands of products, literally, in a matter of seconds. And this is how you come up with these amazing products, and you can zap them straight into your store at the push of a button. So when we're talking about speed and scale and simplicity, this really helps make sure that you get that with the products. Component number 4 is traffic, because you can have the best website in the world, you can sell the most amazing thing in the world, but if you're not getting targeted traffic, then it's going to be a struggle. So what we've done here is we've gone about putting together a comprehensive training with action plans about how to leverage this shopping platform traffic. Now, you may not know anything about shopping platform traffic. Maybe you've even used it in the past. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you don't even know what it is. It doesn't matter. We're guiding you through from start to finish. It's the most simple kind of paid traffic that I know of. It is the most affordable that I know of, certainly in terms of the bang for your buck that you get from it. I mean, you could get a click for 30 cents and they come in and buy something that's $100. These are people, this traffic, it's a source of traffic that is amongst the very best traffic that exists on the web, period, because these are people that are actively seeking to buy products. So if they're searching for like a jump rope or something, and you're selling a jump rope, then, they already want to buy a jump rope, which is why also our stores are able to get these great conversion rates. Sometimes 3% is what we aim for, but certainly upwards of 1%. This is the training about that part of it. And then we also know from over a decade of building e-commerce stores that there are different bells and whistles that you can add to your website to increase the conversions. And in doing so, increase the amount of money that you make from each visitor. So another big part of this brainstorm was, well, what are all the different bells and whistles that we want? Which of those can we build in advance for members of the Kibo code? And we mapped all of that out. And then we tasked our design team and our developers to put this into practice and to bring our ideas into reality. And that's what we've got with Oracle X. And the goal here is, well, it's always to make your life easier. It's always to make things faster and more scalable. But also this one was to help you save money. And you'll see what that's all about once you get in there and start using this. And then we've got the hand-picked products. So again, this is about doing it for you. Like if we could, the most extreme example of what we could do, if we were in the perfect world, what we would do is we would build a website, we would get it up running, making money for you, and then we'd give it to you. And we'd say, you pay me a little bit of money, and I'm going to give you a website that's actually making money already. But we can't do that on a scale that we would like to do it on. So the next best thing is a done-for-you component related to the products. So we're giving you 5 unique products for you to get started with. And then there's the support. Now, we know that this is a big part of every single program that we've done over the past decade. We know that different people have got different needs. We know that different people like to get support in different ways. So what we're giving you here is a combination of different support avenues. There's going to be an amazing community we've got a team of our top tier coaches who help Steve and I in replying to strategic questions. And then beyond that, we've also got a team of people who help with administrative questions. So say, for example, you can't get into your account because you've lost a password or something like that, and you didn't know how to reset it. That kind of a question wouldn't go to one of our top tier coaches. It wouldn't come to Steve or me. It would go to one of our administrative support people, and they would help you with that. So that's why. And then, like, let's say you did have a strategic question about how to do something, that would come to Steve or me or one of our team of coaches who actually run this business as well. So by sort of breaking our support system up into different sections, it allows us to get faster and more accurate responses on a more timely basis. We've got an amazing team behind the scenes. We've got an amazing person that helps us run all of this as well, and we're going to make sure that you're well looked after. And our support is ongoing. We're still helping people that were part of programs that we came out with, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and that's going to be the same with this. So we've got you well and truly covered with support, and we've spoken a lot about the live event already. I honestly believe, and I can say this perfectly comfortably, is that the live event alone is worth the price of admission. In fact, any one of these 7 components, I feel like they're all worth the price of admission with what we're giving you here. So this is crazy valuable. It's really everything that we wanted it to be when we were sitting in a room sort of mapping it out a long, long time ago, and we're excited to be working with you. So guys, if you're ready to jump in, you don't have to wait for me to stop talking here. You can go ahead and jump in right now at thekibocode.com/start. And also let us know once you are in. If you've decided to jump in, but you haven't jumped in yet, but you have decided, then let us know in the question box that you have decided that you're going to be getting in, and we'll be able to thank you for that. So there are bonuses as well, like the live event recordings, like the secret mastermind, the advanced workshops, like the 7-figure scaling secrets. This is a big one. And again, just to reiterate, this is not something that you need any special experience for. We provide you with everything that you need. If you use the analogy of baking a cake here, we're giving you the ingredients that you need, we're giving you the recipe that you need, we're giving you the tools that you need, and we're giving you the support that you need. So while you're there working away, baking your cake, we are standing there next to you saying, hang on, don't put too much sugar in, you just need to put this much sugar in. Make sure you only cook it for 30 minutes, don't cook it for 65 minutes, because otherwise you're going to burn it. We are there with you every step of the way. This is not something that we've just whipped together overnight. I hope and I think that you can probably see that, given how comprehensive all of this is. But this is something that we've put an enormous amount of thought and energy into, which is another reason why it's probably unlike anything that you would have seen before. And I think the people that jump in are going to be in for one heck of a journey, and we're excited about it. So I can see more people typing that they are just jumping in. So congratulations for those of you that have taken the leap of faith. We don't take that lightly, that you're putting your trust in us, and we're really excited about working with each and every single one of you that jumps in here. For your peace of mind as well, so many of the traditional hurdles and obstacles have been overcome with this business model. The traffic, it's just a non-issue now. You're not buying inventory up front, which was a risk for people in the past. There's none of that. The competition, it's just a non-issue. Very high profit margins. We're selling in-demand products, and they're not products that sell for like $10. We're not leveraging interrupt-driven traffic. We're getting traffic that wants what we have, and as a result of that, we can sell products that cost a little bit more, and we make more margin on. Rapid results, no supplier headaches, and you also only need a couple of these products to really kick things off. So look, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity, period. I feel like if you want to build an online business or any business, this is the perfect opportunity. That's how I feel. But I feel it's especially perfect for someone who wants to start with a clean slate. I feel it's especially perfect for someone who maybe has struggled in the past to get started with building an online business, maybe failed in the past. If that's you, I feel like this is is perfect for you, because this is kind of what I was looking for when I started online. It took me 2 years to get going online. I feel like if I'd had this, it could have taken me, I don't know, weeks, you know. So I feel like this really is the perfect opportunity, and we're giving you everything that I feel like you could possibly need here. Every little thing, we've got you covered with everything. And you can see the link on the screen there. It's thekibocode.com/start. You can see that link on the screen there. You've got the 2 different payment options. The 1-part payment option, I mean, if you can do that one, I would suggest that you do it, because for 2 reasons. One, I feel like that's the best way to show that you're committed, to go all in. It gets the payment out of the way, and it also saves you $491. And I think it's probably for those reasons that most people take that one. But we do have the $997 split pay option, with the first payment today, the next one in 30 days, then another one in 60 days, and another one in 90 days, and you're done. You will be able to get up and running in a matter of weeks. You know, some people are saying, you know, is it possible that I'm going to be making money before my next payment's due? Yeah, it's absolutely possible. In fact, I would expect that of you. Again, to reiterate on this, you've got 0 risk. Where, you know, we've got a 30-day refund guarantee, and if you change your mind within the first 30 days, we'll give you your money back. No hard feelings, no questions asked. I feel like you need to give yourself the opportunity to succeed, and you can do that with absolutely 0 risk because of this money back guarantee. But you've also got the double your money back guarantee as well. And this is our way of saying, look, we know this works. We are certain that you can succeed with this. And as long as you follow every step of the training curriculum without deviation, actively use our support system and our tools and our resources, then we guarantee not only refund your purchase, but actually double your investment, double your money back. If for some weird reason, you know, you're not able to get up and running and making sales within the first 60 days, my hope is that you'll be up and running and making sales within the next few weeks. But we can absolutely get you there in the first couple of months. And we want to put you in a position to change your life. We need you to jump in, though. We need you to take the leap of faith. We need you to take your action first. And then once you're on the inside, that's when we can really start helping you. If you stay on the outside, then we're not going to be able to help you. But if you get on the inside, then we can help you. We can guide you, and we can make sure that you do this in the easiest way possible. We are almost completely sold out now. So we are getting close to hitting capacity, and we will hit capacity, and we will shut down when that happens. So guys, go ahead and jump in now if you like what you're seeing here. We would certainly love to have you with us. And we're going to be doing everything that we can to make sure that you succeed with this. So where are we at so far? Well, I'll tell you that we're 20 minutes behind schedule. That's not too bad, all things being considered. Steve, anything you want to add in there before we jump into the next section, which is which I'll get you to do if you don't mind?
Yeah. No, I don't necessarily want to add anything to what you said, but I did want to make one quick comment. I have to admit that when we're going to do this live stream, and we're going to do it on YouTube, and we're going to have YouTube comments, I was not hopeful that the YouTube commenting would be a lot of fun, to be quite honest. It usually is just a bunch of, crazy people, and, a couple bad apples take over the chat feed, and it's just, I don't know, whatever. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I have to tell you, man, I've been watching the chat and others, and we are just, thank you so much. They're insightful questions. People are discussing things calmly, intelligently. Gosh, I wish, everything in the world was like that. So great, fantastic group. And thank you so much for everyone, contributing to the chat. It's really, really been wonderful. And we've been learning a few things and understanding people's concerns, and it's been great. So anyway, enough said about that. It's really nice.
Thank you. Hey, Steve, do you want to, I think it's probably easiest if you take the slides back again now. So I don't know if you're up to speed with where you need to be.
Yeah, I am. Yep.
I'll stop sharing then. And you should be able to.
Good. All right, now everybody can see our big heads here.
Yeah, I just realized that was one thing that I realized is I was holding up this piece of paper telling people to go to thekibocode.com/chat. And it was probably like the size of a postage stamp. People. So anyway, I'm learning how to do live streams on the go here, guys. We've done a few of them over the past few years, but it's not something we do every single day. So
No, it's not our
anyway,
forte.
you guys found it. You're obviously smart enough to find where the chat was. If you didn't find it, it's the kibocode.com/chat. Look, you can see it right there.
Maybe that's what it is. It's only the smart ones that found it, so that's why it's such a good experience. That's very possible.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some things to talk about. So let's talk about breaking the chains. So we always go through this. We're always a little skeptical of. I don't want to get up here and claim to be Tony Robbins, and I should definitely come up with another example than that. But we've been around a long time. I mean, I've done a lot of different things in my career. We've built a lot of businesses. We've helped a lot of people. As I said, I've been married for 31 years. I kind of feel like that sort of adds up to something, like I hope so. So, we sort of try to put together these best practices of, why do people achieve success and others are just kind of, walking around on autopilot. And, it's obviously a whole bunch of things. But one of the things that it has to do with for sure, is just like your current reality and what your expectation is. And it also has to go back to that whole thing I said about way back in the beginning, for those of you who've been with us for that long here, when I talked about being a pilot and doing the yacht business. It's that belief that anything's possible, and it's that you don't even think negatively. You just think, well, yeah, of course I could do that. Or yeah, of course I could be involved in writing a screenplay. Sure. What could go wrong? And admittedly, oftentimes, we, as entrepreneurs, we oversimplify things and bite off more than we can chew. But I guess I'd rather be that way because we tend to achieve more as well. And so, look, if you expect average and behave in that way, then, that's what you're going to get. And if you expect something bigger and more success, then, that's what you're going to get. So I think it's important to look at some things that you could be doing to get yourself, in that mindset. And, maybe one of the things to think about is just actively seeking radical change. Einstein, the famous thing, insanity, the definition is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you didn't get what you wanted in 2019, then I suggest you do something else, try something different, put yourself out there and do something radically different and actually think. I would think about these suggestions and, write them down and like every day or once a week or whatever, say, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am I actively seeking radical change? And, it's critical that you get out of your comfort zone. I mean, my father's a great example. He never got my dad did great. He was upper middle class for the most part. I would say, obviously a well-educated man, mechanical engineer, and a happy guy and did, I've got no complaints about my childhood. He did everything that he needed to do for me, but he never got out of his comfort zone. And I often wonder, I think the world of my dad. And, I think that he's probably, one of the most brilliant guys that I've ever met. So I often wonder if he had gotten out of his comfort zone, what would have happened? We'll never know at this point. But maybe that's an opportunity squandered. Anyway, so, getting out of your comfort zone and getting off of autopilot, just being on this path that's laid out for you for whatever reason is absolutely key. Embracing failure. Too many people are afraid of failure. They're afraid for a whole bunch of reasons. Get over it. It's part of the process. I've failed tons of times. I continue to fail. Not all of our ideas work. That's for damn sure. It's part of the journey. And you learn everything, you learn things from every single one of them. And I would suggest that if you haven't done a lot of failure in your life, then two things. One, you're not getting out of your comfort zone. And two, you're not going to achieve much because nobody has ever achieved anything without massive failure. So just get over it. We used to say in corporate, what does every single successful executive have in common? They've been fired. Absolutely. And it's because they take responsibility, they take risks, they get out of the comfort zone, and they achieve, high levels of corporate success, but they fail also. And, I mean, listen, there's, a million different ways to look at this. But, look at some of these incredibly successful people. Spielberg was rejected by USC, 3 times. I mean, that's just like ridiculous, right? 26 times Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, was rejected by publishers. That's ridiculous. It was a great book, right? Like 104 times an average couple has sex before conceiving. Well, there you go. That's a great one to throw in there. I love it. 162 times the author of this infographic made searches for this data. There you go. Anyway, you get the idea. Success on the first time, sort of just getting that home run with the first pitch doesn't happen a lot. This is something I think is really key, is understanding your why. I talk about this autopilot a lot. And I think that people are on autopilot for a whole bunch of different reasons. Other people's expectations, they're not introspective. They don't really understand what drives them. Maybe when they were a little kid, the path was set for them by their parents and said, look, you're going to go to college. You're going to get a philosophy degree or whatever, or a liberal arts degree. And you're going to, be an HR person or so. I don't know, whatever. Or you're going to be a lawyer. So, and maybe that's just fine, if that's what you want to do, if that's your passion. But I think most people get on this path, right? And then they just follow it because they have momentum, and they never get off of it. They never get out of their comfort zone. They don't try things. They're afraid of failing, on either side of the path, and other people's expectations. And so then you don't grow, right? And you don't take risks, so you don't succeed. Plus, you also don't really know what makes you happy and gets you to where you want to be. And so you need to have some process where you can be introspective. You can understand what's driving you. And most people don't do this. And one of the ways to do it is to just be ruthless with yourself and just keep drilling down, 7 layers deep is one example. Why do you want to start an online business? Because I want financial freedom. Well, why do you want financial freedom? I want to be able to, give my kids the things I never had. Well, why do you care about that? And on and on and on and on, 7 layers deep. The bottom line is whatever works for you, whatever hack works for you, to try to figure out what the hell really drives you. What do you really want? What makes you happy? And you'd be shocked at like all the people that don't do this. And my recipe for happiness is simple. Find out what makes you happy, do more of that stuff. Find out what makes you unhappy, don't do that stuff. And help others do the same. That's my recipe for happiness. Sounds really easy. It's not, because people don't do this because they don't know what makes them happy. My soccer strategy. Maybe this translates well. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
I made fun of this, but I do think it's a really is a great thing here.
Good. Well, so I don't know. I don't. It's hard for me to explain it, but I will tell you this in defense of it. It is something that has guided my whole life. My whole life, really. I was going to say career or professional. But I thought about this when I was about 20 years old for whatever reason. And there have been like a few rules in my life that have stuck with me. And when I have trouble making a decision or I'm trying to decide something, I often cite this in my head. Steve, remember the soccer strategy. And it goes like this. My argument is, because I don't know anything about soccer, and by that I mean football for the rest of the world. My argument is that soccer doesn't have a lot of strategy to it. Like football has very specific plays, and they map it out with the X's and O's, and they know who they're going to try and pass to and what the defense is going to do and all this kind of crap. Whereas soccer, the idea is, look, we don't really know who's going to score, right? I mean, we got people that do that for the most part, right? We got the centers and, whatever the hell they call them. And they're the guys who probably are going to make most of the goals, but we really don't know who's going to score, right? What we can do, though, is we could just constantly, we're going to bring the ball down the field, right, to the other people's area there, and we're going to put it into the middle. We're just going to keep crossing it into the middle. And the deal is that's where good things happen, right? If we can just move the ball, make progress, move the ball, get it down the field, put it in the middle. I don't know if it's going to be Johnny or Ricardo or who the hell is going to actually head the ball in or kick it in, or maybe the other team accidentally bops it in, or maybe there's a handball and I got an opportunity for a penalty shot, or maybe there's a corner kick opportunity based on that. And what's a corner kick? Just putting the ball in the middle, right? I mean, for the most part. So, that's what we try and do all the time, what I've tried to do ever since I was 20 years old. And there are multiple examples of that. Let me give you one. I'll give you two. One is our China office. Years ago, we were not really ready to do a China office. It was a huge risk for us. A lot of expense, complexity, scary stuff, you know? And we were like, well, you know, we kind of feel like this is the soccer strategy. I feel like having a China office for us at this point is moving the ball down the middle or moving the ball down the field and then just putting it right in the middle, because we know we're going to grow there. I don't know exactly how it's going to help us, but I am certain that it will. And sure enough, it has paid off in spades with our supply chain, with our relationship with suppliers, with our quality control, our ability to quality control merchandise before it leaves the country by people that are our people and no one else's. And oh, by the way, we actually also leverage it, and we never saw this, we also leverage it for the people in our mastermind. And again, we just never saw that. The mastermind is another example of that. Even, you know, you heard from Sean, right? So we met Sean because of the soccer strategy. We're like, well, you know, one of the things that we know about having a mastermind, it's an investment on our end, right? And it doesn't really make us money. I mean, to be totally honest with you, we make a lot more money on an hourly rate on a million other things, but it's a soccer strategy. We move the ball down the field, we pop it in the middle, and good things have happened. I can tell you that we have merged our e-commerce business years ago, our private label business, with another company from people that had joined our mastermind like 7 years ago. I think we've got two CEOs of two of our other companies. They both came from our mastermind group. And you just heard we met Sean through a contact in our mastermind group. This is all, we had no idea that was going to happen. We had no idea that those were going to be the shots on goal or who was going to take them. But we followed the soccer strategy. We moved the ball down the field and we put it in the middle. My suggestion to you is the Kibo code is your soccer strategy right now. You may not know how it's all going to work out. You may not know exactly what it's going to be, but you know you have this dream and vision, and you got to move the ball down the field and put it in the middle. So hopefully hopefully I explained that probably, but I'm being honest when I tell you it has driven me for 30 years. 30 years.
I think you alienated a few people when you said there was absolutely no strategy in soccer, but I think apart from that, everyone got it. So I think that's
I recognize that that's probably not true, but it works for my metaphor. So, you know,
right.
This is something that we spend a lot of time talking about. It's it's kind of common sense, but again, nobody does it. That's why it's really valuable, I think, to write these things down and look at them every once in a while. Clear vision and focus. What does finished look like? We talk about that all the time. You know, we're in a group, go off in tangents, and it's like, whoa, let's slow down. What does finished look like? That's my famous thing from, you know, managing any group of people. Where are we going? What are we trying to be? Write it all down. Stay focused, stay pointed on, you know, have your ship pointed in the right direction and stay focused on what finished looks like. It's key. You know, Aiden mentioned this one before, just building an inner circle. It's hard to do when you're online, you know, when you're working by yourself. And it's hard to do if you're an introvert or, you know, but believe me, and I am. So it comes from, you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to find ways of, you know, having a network, an inner circle. And honestly, one of the best ways to do it, you could join a mastermind or something like that. But the other best way is to join something like Kibo Code, because you'll get a community of people. This is key. You've got to figure out a way to hack yourself. And I can tell you that I had dabbled in online marketing and building businesses before I left corporate, but it didn't really happen for me until I basically got rid of my safety net. And it's a there's no tomorrow approach. And I'm not suggesting you do that, by the way. I'm just suggesting you figure out how to hack yourself so that you're not procrastinating. And it kind of just comes down to, you know, you and your strengths and weaknesses. But you know, you should figure out a way to make sure that you adopt this there's no tomorrow attitude. Failure is not an option. You're going to fail along the way. That's okay. But failing to get to finished is not an option. And almost 10% of 2020 is gone. One of the ways you could do this is, you know, to hack yourself is to invest in the Kibo code. I mean, that's another way that people do that for sure. So these are a couple more interesting things. These are from some of these are from, somebody asked me to do a presentation about, 30 years of working, kind of thing, of being in the business world. And these are some of the lessons that I came up with. And it's not, so this is really important, I think, to hear when you're younger. The older I get, the less I'm good at. I don't necessarily mean that I'm getting worse at things. What I mean is that I recognize that things that perhaps I thought I was strong at, I'm not really. They're not my strengths. And so I've just become more aware of my abilities and lack of abilities in certain areas. I mean, when I was young in corporate, I expected that I would be, my success for me looked like I expected to be a CEO of a $5 billion company. That was what I thought success for me was. And, that is just completely wrong for me. I would suck at that. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm not a CEO of that kind of a company. I'm a CEO of a small startup. Absolutely. That's what I love to do. But I'm not the CEO of a $5 billion company who has to deal with all that bullshit. I can't curse, all that stuff. So I think what's important here, the lesson that's important here is make sure that you spend a lot of time, no matter how old you are, but I think it's easier as you get older, to really understand what your strengths and weaknesses are and really understand how to, parlay those into success. It's something that's really worth thinking about. This one, dance with the one that brought you. This is an old country saying, dance with the one you brought to the dance, is some variation on that. What it means is if you brought a date to the dance, don't spend time talking to other girls. That's kind of where it comes from. But this is another one of those lessons that I have used for 30 years. And I use it to help me make decisions. And I will give you one example. So when we were looking to sell our house in North Carolina, it was it was our dream home. We raised the kids there. It was almost 7,000 square foot home with an elevator, 7 bathrooms. It was like freaking crazy. And it was a huge investment for us, right? Huge. So we wanted to make sure that we found the right real estate agent to further the sale and to make it all work. And so we had the choice between this woman who was basically like the de facto expert. She had every listing in the neighborhood. Everybody loved her. She was just there, and you're expected to use her, right? But then what was happening at the same time was our friend, our dear friend, who we had known for a long time, had become a real estate agent and was doing very well, but was nowhere near as established. And we agonized over this because it was like, well, we have this friend and that's important, but gosh, this is an incredible, this is an incredible investment for us. We got to take care of it. So finally I just said, you know what? I'm tired of agonizing over this. I'm going to go back to one of my rules that helps me make decisions. And that's dance with the one who brought you. And I'm going to go with our friend, and I'm so glad we did. Because she turned out to be the best real estate agent I have ever had, and I've bought a lot and sold a lot of real estate. She was amazing, and I won't bore you with all the details, but there was a complex transactions back and forth, and she was off the charts fantastic. We couldn't have asked for anything better. Now, is it always going to work out when you dance with the one who brought you? Absolutely not. It could have been a failure, but the point of it is not that. The point of it is that it's a rule to help you get out of this paralysis by analysis. It's a rule that I think is a good one. When you're faced with a decision where you really don't know then fall back and say, I'm going to dance with the one that brought you. And, keeping it simple is huge. I mean, what kills startups? It's all these things that are just, if you can avoid them, gosh, let's do it. Capital, I mean, having money up front, always funding. I mean, we have other startups that we need funding from outside, and it's a pain in the ass, marketing skills. At this point, if you're not an MBA or a marketing major, it's tough. Facebook, we've beat this to death, how hard it is. Sometimes, people have trouble with technology. The legal and administrative headaches can get you. Slow results, right? I mean, this is the number one reason why people give up, is that they don't see results fast enough. And that's why, we're just so focused on getting rid of all of these things, with Kibo Code, no capital for inventory, no Facebook ads, no Amazon problems, no China, no traffic, no competition, like really low risk, high profit margins, don't have to spend a lot of time, rapid results. It's huge, and on and on. I mean, this is really at the end of the day what we're trying to do here. So And you want to take over now, or do you want me to keep going? Sorry, I put you on the mute thing. I just realized I was kind of rambling on.
I just realized I was on mute there. So why don't you stop sharing your screen and I'll take mine back.
Yeah, I will. Oh, there's those big talking heads again. It's horrible. Oh, thank God.
Alrighty, there we go. So my screen should be up again now.
Yeah,
I think you guys know where to go if you want to jump into this, and it is the kibocode.com/start. You've got the 2 different payment options there, and you can get started today. It's not going to be around that much longer. So if you like what you've seen, if your gut feeling tells you that you want to jump in, then just jump in. That's all there is to it. Don't overthink this. Just jump in and try things out. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain here. We've got you covered with our guarantees, our 2 guarantees, our 30-day no questions asked guarantee, and our 60-day double your money back guarantee as well. So where are we at so far? Well, we've been through the soccer strategy. We've been through the breaking the chains lessons. We are going to take a few of the top questions now. So maybe what I'll do is I'll share my screen here, Steve, and you can just knock these off one by one. These are 10 of the top questions that we have seen come in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this just comes from, this first one comes from the fact that we mentioned that the training is 8 weeks. I don't even know why we do that, because the training is actually, you'll get tired of us. We only do this once a year. So we have a captive audience that we like to train on all sorts of things. Our goal is not just to make you Kibo experts and build huge business with that, but we'd like to make you Aiden and Steve's, so that you're able to do even more businesses and end up with an MBA in online marketing. But anyway, it doesn't take 8 weeks to start making money. Aiden mentioned it's only a couple of weeks to get a store up and running, but we just have a lot more to talk about. And honestly, our objective here is to, really just train you on something that's a big, stable, scalable online empire, practically, So anyway, I don't understand how the products get to customers. This is the whole thing with drop shipping. So it is the drop ship model. So it's if you're not familiar with that, you don't have to buy in this inventory up front, and it sits with the suppliers that we talked about. And what happens is you just have it on your website for purchase. Somebody comes along and says, "Oh, okay, I wanna order this hamster cage," and great, here's $100. So they give you the $100. They tell you they want to order a hamster cage. They tell you where to ship it, and then your store communicates with the supplier and says, "Hey, this guy wants a hamster cage. We already agreed I'd pay you $50 for that. So here's the $50, and here's where to ship it." And they take care of shipping it, and you pocket the difference, which in this case was $50. So that's how the products get there.
Just one thing to throw in there, and I think this is quite important as well, is you're giving the hamster cage example, and ever since the start of the call, when you've been referring to the wizards behind the scenes here as hamsters, I'm wondering if you're talking about a cage for us to put these people that work for us in, or you're talking about a little cage for the little furry animals.
I think I'm talking about the little cage for furry animals.
Okay. Thank God for that.
So I think I think I answered this one already from other questions. Will these suppliers work with me, and will these products be in stock? Yes. And the reason is because we're careful about figuring out who we put in there. Sales tax, sales tax is crazy right now. Not crazy it's not crazy because it's an expense or anything. It's just crazy because the states are all trying to figure it out, honestly. Good news is it is a lot easier than selling on Amazon. And not to bore you with all the details, but just because Amazon had to basically make an arrangement and say, yeah, we'll collect sales tax for pretty much every state. So anyway, sales tax is something you're going to have to deal with. Oh, here we go with that again. I think, gosh, sorry. 1 second, maybe.
You just seem to Steve seems to sort of hit his limit. He speaks for a certain period of time, and then he just can't speak anymore. And he had this meltdown the other day.
The body is is just more fragile. So 2 things about sales tax. One, it is not something that is an expense, because you're collecting it and then just sending it to a particular state. So it doesn't affect your bottom line in any way. the other thing is that, yeah, it's a fact to do in business. I mean, there's a lot of those that go around, and it's just part of having a big boy business. So yeah, just got to deal with it. We'll help you, by the way. What else do I need to invest in? We talked about this. We're talking about a domain for $9, Shopify account, $28, a couple plugins, $5-10 each. That's about the extent of it. We didn't really get too much into how much of my time is required. That's kind of like, how long is a piece of string, because there's a bunch of different factors to that. But I think what people are asking is to get started. And that would be like maybe an hour a day, 5 hours a week, that sort of thing could get you started. And then, as Sean was talking about, you can run, multi-million-dollar business without working too hard, because you're going to have help. So, do we all share the 5 pick for you products? Absolutely not. Once you pick the product, it is out of the running for other people to pick. And that was something that we made sure of. Can I really do this from outside the US? Absolutely. And the biggest reason is that you just don't have any kind of limitation on, having to get a reseller certificate and set up a company and bank accounts and all that kind of stuff, which gets in the way sometimes of, when you're outside the US. It just complicates things. There are obstacles that can be overcome for sure. And you'll want to overcome them at some point for a bunch of other reasons, for scaling and stuff, but it's not something that you have to worry about in the short term. How do I find suppliers and products? This is funny. You don't, honestly, because we've done it all for you. And at one point we kind of were thinking that people might be looking for their own suppliers and products, but after really thinking through it, we were like, you know what, we have enough for the number of members that we're going to have. And so let us do that. We do it well. We're just going to do it for you. So you don't, we do, and you have the whole database. And then how do I deal with returns? The suppliers will take the returns and credit you once they've received it, and then you can credit the end customer. I will tell you that the return levels are very low for the Kibo model, about less than 1%. So it's good stuff there.
Cool, good stuff. So look, we're gonna change tack a little bit here. And what I wanna do now is just share some of the reality about building an online business. And there's this sort of metaphorical story that I think is quite a good way to sort of sum up how building an online business really is. And the moral of the story is you've got to knock down the 3 doors. So it goes something like this, and this is based on my experience and Steve's experience. And I've met a lot of people who started from scratch and have gone on to make $1 million per year. And I've seen a lot more people build comfortable incomes, and a comfortable income might be $500 a week or $1,000 a week. And they've been able to quit their day jobs and work from home, and they're happy with this outcome. But it only happens to the people after they've knocked down the 3 doors that I'm about to share with you. So I want you to imagine a situation where you're standing in front of a door, and I tell you that there's $1 million on the other side of that door, and you've got 24 hours to get that money. And if you manage to get to it, it's yours. So I take you on a journey above the room. I show you that I'm not lying. There really is money behind the door. And so you are now 100% certain that the money is there. All you have to do is figure out how to get it. So what do you do first? Hopefully you just try to bash the damn door down to see if you can get through, but you find it's locked. Okay. It's locked. So, you can't, and you try to bash it down. And, in the online business world is that a lot of people, they'll try to open the door, and if it's locked, they'll just give up. They'll just say, well, I'm going to give up. They try to turn the handle, it's locked, they leave, they go somewhere else. The first sign of discomfort, and they go into retreat mode. They look for something easier. And after all, they're thinking, there must be an easy way to make money online that requires no discomfort whatsoever. This is what we see online. So they keep chasing this comfortable solution. They buy one crappy product after another, and eventually they find out that these new crappy methods are all just as hard as one another. And the real success requires that you stick with one proven system and see it through, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. So some people do advance and bash down the first door, and some do it on their first attempt. But what most people who start online businesses find is that there's actually a second door. And so then they say, oh man, I couldn't see this door before. You didn't tell me there was another door there. I could see the $1 million and the first door, but I didn't know there was another door. How many doors are there? And this is where most people just quit. They realize that there's more than one door, and they convince themselves that they failed. This online thing is just not for them. But what I found is there are normally 3 doors. The money is always there, but it turns out it's 3 times harder to get it than you first thought, or it's going to take 3 times longer. So sometimes procrastination is one of the doors. And there are lots of ways that these doors could present themselves to you. But the moral of the story is that the people who end up making all the money are the people that are able to knock down all 3 doors, no matter what. They find a way. You've got a burning desire why you want to make this happen, and you are not going to stop until it happens. It's important, I think, to be aware of how your mind works and understand that sometimes you might feel like, you want to give up, or you might feel that you're skeptical that online businesses can really amount to anything, but be relentless and push on anyway. This can be tough for some people. Some people are going to shoot ahead, and others are going to have to slog away and work hard to get just to the first stage. But that's okay. And you do have a second chance, and a third chance, and a fourth chance. But just keep trying until you crack the code. Building an online business, it's not a pipe dream. With the right system and the right tools, the sky is the limit here. If you failed in the past, don't give up. Keep going. I failed for 2 years before I had my first breakthrough. Maybe you've even been in our programs before and you didn't get the results that you're after. It doesn't mean you should give up though. Just keep pushing forward. This is by far, and I keep saying this, this is by far the most simple, streamlined system that we've ever come up with. And I'm sure there will be little, roadblocks and hurdles along the way that we can't, foresee, because we don't have a crystal ball. But we know what's working in our business, and we know that we can help you as well. But you need to take the leap of faith. So if you're ready to do that, you can go to that link there, thekibocode.com/start. But just know that, if you failed in the past, that's fine. It's part of the journey for becoming successful. And I think that the Kibo Code is going to be that final thing that gets a lot of people over the edge there. Don't give up on your dreams before the magic happens. The people that don't go on to make huge amounts of money and have life-changing businesses online, it's because they give up. That's the only real reason. Anyone who sticks at it for long enough succeeds, period. And over time, you become better and better at it. But sometimes, you got to get through a few hurdles. So this is the final recap that I'm going to give for you for the Kibo Code now. And we're coming up 3.5 hours. So I'm going to start coughing and spluttering like Steve pretty soon if I can't wrap this up. But thank you to everyone who is still here. And we got hundreds and hundreds of people with us, even right now. In fact, I can see just on one of our streams right now, we've got 600 people. And on the other stream that's going out to, there's probably at least a few hundred as well. So thank you for being here with us. This is the final recap, guys. The Kibo Code is something that we're pretty proud of. We're very excited to get out to everyone because we know it's going to change lives. It's radically different. It's a different approach to building e-commerce stores, and it manages to eliminate all of the hurdles that we've faced before and streamline things in a way so that you can get results so much faster and so much more easily than you've been able to do in the past. And we're talking about getting you from zero to making money in just a couple of weeks here, getting a site online and starting to make money from it. And we're including everything that you need in the program to help you succeed. And if you have just joined us, this will be the last time that I recap all of this here today. So please do pay attention. If you're still on the fence and you're still not decided whether or not that you should get into this, just let us know. Type fence, capitalized letters, type fence in the chat feed that we've got there. Let us know what it is that's stopping you getting in. I would hate for you to not get a question answered, or us, to miss something out, or not share something with you that's going to stop you from getting in. So if you are on the fence, then just type fence in the chat box with capitalized letters and let us know. And either we will be able to help you out, answering your question, sharing some info, or one of these other amazing people that's in the background on this live feed. And you guys know who you are. You guys have been amazing. So many of you answering questions, helping people out on the chat. So anyway, the central intelligence, this is all of the training. This is where we deliver the training for you. Step-by-step videos, strategy manuals, weekly webinars, mind maps, and so much more. StoreStorm, this is how we are able to help you install a store at the push of a button. This is where you're able to tap into all of our experience, expertise, and our infrastructure that we've built for you to use. And these stores are optimized. They've been optimized to the nth degree. I mean, I can't tell you how many split tests we've done on these things, but we've had millions and millions of visitors, and we know what we've got works. And that's really important. And then you've got Profit Vault, which is the way that you're going to shortcut getting products and the right products to sell on your store. There's functionality built into Profit Vault that's going to allow you to slice and dice all the products in there, filter out the best ones that are going to work for you. And this is going to eliminate huge amounts of time in getting you up and running. And then the traffic black box. I mean, this is all the secrets to the traffic generation. And it's important because you need to be able to drive highly targeted traffic. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So Oracle X is the next one. This is about more big shortcuts, and specifically about how you can add different bells and whistles to get better performance out of your website. So the website design and installation is one thing, but then there's this whole other layer of things that you can do and add to a site, which are going to make it perform better. And this is what this component of the program is all about. You're getting the handpicked product. As Steve said, these are 5 unique handpicked products that you'll get access to. And these are products that we have vetted. We've fully formatted them all, so they're ready to just go straight into your store at the click of a button. Huge, huge shortcut here. And then there's the support. We've got an amazing support team. I mean, these guys are brilliant. They are really one of the secrets to making my job and Steve's job so much easier. We can focus on innovation and training because we've got this amazing group of people who we've trained up to be genuine experts in this. These are we refer to them as our coaches. And they're there for strategic support. And if they don't know the answer to something, then that's when Steve and I get involved. And then we've got a whole other layer of administrative support as well. And then on top of all of that, we've got the Kibo community. So this is going to be an amazing group. We're going to get to hang out with other members, and I think you're going to get a real kick out of this. And then there's a live event. I said this before, but quite honestly, for me, this alone is worth the price of admission. It's going to be amazing. April 4th, April 5th, they were the dates that we announced. It's going to be on the East Coast of the United States. And if you're unable to attend, we will get you the recordings. Another bonus we're getting you is the Secret Mastermind. These are more advanced workshops about additional tactics, formulas, and strategies that we use in our business. And 7-figure scaling secrets about how you can go from building a 6-figure business to scaling to 7 figures and beyond. We've tried to make this as simple as humanly possible. You don't need any prior experience. All you need to be able to do is follow a recipe. And we're going to give you the recipe, we're going to give you the ingredients, and we're going to give you the tools. Now, we're also going to be standing there right next to you, guiding you along. We've got milestones that we're going to be asking you to hit on a week-by-week basis. You can go forward at your own pace, and that's absolutely fine. But we've got these milestones in place so that we're guiding you along, and we'll know where you're at. And again, we've eliminated all of the obstacles. I really feel like at this point, this is the perfect opportunity. We're giving you everything that you could possibly need, but you need to take the leap of faith. We can't force you to jump in. We can tell you how great this is. And, you know, I feel like you probably know if this is right for you. If this is right for you, you've probably got a gut feeling, and it's not going to be right for everyone. If you're someone that can't dedicate 5 hours a week, then it's not going to be right for you. If you're someone that just wants, hobbyist results, then it's not really designed for you. I mean, you could still do it, but it's not designed for you. This is designed for people that are going to take it seriously. And by taking it seriously, you can still just do a handful of hours per week, but follow the system. Don't go rogue on us. Don't go and say, I'm going to build this store and then I'm going to do this other thing. Why would you do that? Just stick to the system and we can help you get results. But you need to take that leap of faith. You need to decide to put your trust in us. We know that we can help you, but you have to take that leap of faith and jump in. And you can see the link right there. We are shutting this down in the next few moments. We've almost been running 4 hours here. At this point, I don't know what much more we could sort of add here, but we will take some more questions in a moment. We do have some more cash to give away as well, so that'll be fun. But you can see the links on the screen there. This is how you go ahead and jump in. You've got zero risk. Again, we are going above and beyond with our guarantee. In addition to the 30-day guarantee, we've also got the double your money back guarantee as well, where as long as you follow every step of the training curriculum without deviation, actively use our support system and our tools and our resources, then we guarantee to not only refund your purchase, but to double your money back as well. If for some weird reason you're not able to make sales in your first 60 days, but we know that you're going to be able to make sales. We are just totally confident of you being able to make sales. Look, you've got no risk. You can jump into this. It's an amazing opportunity, but you're going to have to do it fast. Spaces are going to fill up. We're getting very close to hitting capacity right now. And once we do, then that'll be it. It'll be shut down. I know that last time we shut down a program a year ago. It was in the start of February 1 year ago, almost exactly 1 year ago. We shut our program down, and for weeks afterwards, we had people emailing us, begging us to let them in, but we didn't let them in because at that stage we are dedicated to coaching. We don't want to be onboarding. We don't want to be bringing new people in. No, at that stage we're dedicated to teaching and helping you get results. So this is great news for people that are already in. If you're not in though, it means that you have to get in sooner rather than later. Otherwise you'll risk missing out. So don't wait any longer. I think we've explained enough about the system for you to know whether or not this sounds like a good idea to you. If at this stage you're still doubting this, if at this stage you don't have confidence in Steve or in me, then it's probably not right for you, and that's fine. I hope that that's not the case, though. I hope that we've transmitted that we really are the real deal here. We get a kick out of helping you. We want to help you, but if your gut feeling tells you no, that's fine. Move on. But we want to help the people that want to make something of this. So if you've got that nagging gut feeling, then I think we can help you. You will have to potentially go outside your comfort zone. This might be something new, but we can help you as long as you go ahead and jump in. And thank you to everyone who has already gone ahead, put your trust in us. Now, just wrapping up this rough schedule here, we've got through pretty much everything. We're running almost an hour behind, but that's okay. We have got one final Q&A now. So Steve, maybe we could take a couple more questions, and then I do have we've got a couple of gifts, and we've got a $500 cash to give away. So any final questions there that we need to get to, Steve?
Yeah, I just was copying a couple of them. Any email where I can send my questions and doubts regarding this program? Yep, support@thekibocode.com. support@thekibocode.com. Another question, do you get the 5 products after the 30 days? No. You're going to get them very, very soon, and well within 30 days. You need to, because we got to use them. And by the way, that speaks to the risk we're taking. We're giving you these things, and anyway, just something to think about. We didn't even give that any thought, honestly. But yeah, you have to have them before then. Somebody said, I checked out Onyx's website where he's doing this model, and there were reviews there. Are they real or fake? They're real reviews. We actually use an app, a plugin on Shopify that goes and collects reviews from other places and puts them in. And that's perfectly okay and legitimate, but they are, real reviews. Is there an estimated date when they will announce the location of the live event? It's going to be like within days that we'll announce the location. So when we join, we get 5 products that you've already chosen for our particular account. Not exactly. You can actually pick them. You have, you can dip into the cream. I showed you on the demo of the software. You can actually sift through it a little bit and just pick out the ones you want, and then those are yours. Okay. And then finally, I hope the training is not too fast. And so what I would say is that, because you can never make everybody happy, you can just work at your own pace. Some people want to go faster, some people slower because of family stuff and other things. That's perfectly okay. You just set out how much you can invest time-wise and what your pace is, and then that's it. You can absolutely do that. So that's it, Aiden.
Okay. Cool. So a couple of gifts that we need to give away right here. So this is the Kibo dossier. Now, this is a full, it's like a 72 page PDF or something that you can download. And it's got a full recap summary of a lot of the information about the Kibo code. So you can go ahead and download that at thekibocode.com/dossier. That's DOSSIER. You can see that there, and you can download that. And the other gift that we've got for you is the kibocode.com/recipe. Now, this is the 13 ingredients of the millionaire mind that we went through. Okay, so the kibocode.com/recipe, you can go ahead and download that. And these are the secrets that I believe separate the world's wealthiest and most successful 1% to everyone else. So I hope you find that useful. We are going to do a cash giveaway right now. We have been here for 3 hours and 52 minutes. If we could get some feedback from everyone in the question box, just about this live stream that we've done here today. Have you got a kick out of it? Has it been entertaining? Have you got some good value out of it? How have you found it? Any feedback at all? We would appreciate that. The thing about doing this kind of a training is that oftentimes you feel like you are just talking into a computer screen, which technically we sort of are doing, but we forget that there are people there on the other side of it. So your feedback is incredibly valuable to us. So cool. I can see lots of comments rolling in there. So thank you so much, guys. Awesome. So Steve,
yeah,
we got $500 cash to give away.
Yep.
Have you randomly selected a winner there?
I have indeed. Christine Ryerson, REIERSON. Christine, if you could contact support at thekibocode.com, that would be wonderful. And we're thrilled to give you $500.
Cool. I'm just making a note of that.
Yep.
Okay, guys, that's a wrap for us. Thank you for being here once again. Hope you got some good content out of this. And just to leave you with the link. Well, you can see the link on all the screens, but this one is the one that shows you the 2 options. So we'd love to have you with us. Thanks for being here, and thanks for tuning in. And I hope that if you want to do this, that you take that leap of faith and do it. And we look forward to working with you on the inside. Don't delay though, this will shut down very soon. You can see the link on the screen there. That's where you need to go. So that's a wrap, guys. Thank you for being here. We will talk again soon. Bye for now.